Warning. All stories could be completely made up, and we have no way to confirm that. Any and all names mentioned in the show are most likely fake. We at Campfire Moto Stories are not journalists and should not be considered as much. If you're offended by anything said or shown in this episode, we don't care, but we encourage you to voice your opinion so we can laugh at the fact that you can't control your emotions. This program contains full language, and I recommend no one to watch or listen to this.
The views and opinions expressed in the program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the sponsor, any advertisers, or the sponsor's affiliates, employees, or partners.
Coming to you live from the Claremont Lounge in Atlanta, Georgia, it's Campfire Moto Stories.
Hey everyone, welcome to Campfire Moto Stories. I'm Anthony Bennett, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today for our live show. This YouTube show / podcast is all about sharing amazing motorcycle stories from everyday riders like you. Whether it's an epic ride, a funny mishap, or an unforgettable adventure, we want to hear it all. Today, we have some fantastic guests in the studio who we'll introduce in just a moment, where we'll dive into their riding stories. Plus, we have exciting segments lined up, including pre-recorded interviews, Billy's tech tips, spotlight a stolen bike, and stories sent in by you through the website and or phone line. At 8:30 sharp, we'll open the phone lines and give our live viewers a chance to call in and share their own motorcycle stories. Lastly, you'll get to hear an awesome story from my 5-year-old son about riding. May or may not be completely made up. Hey, 5-year-old can tell a great story, so can you. Don't forget, you can earn entries into our YZ250 giveaway by participating in the show. Check out CampfireMotoStories.com for all the official rules. And by participating in any way, shape, or form, you indicate that you've read the official rules and agree to our terms and condition. Let's get it started.
Another lap around the wall, another request, another call. All I hear is I can't reply. I feel the strain, I fall behind, I sacrifice my precious time. All I ever care is everything that's so strange.
Hey, welcome to Campfire Moto Stories. Thanks for tuning in. I've got some good buddies of mine, Rick and Jaron Lindell, in studio with me today. Say hey, guys.
How y'all doing? Hey, guys.
As you notice, Jaron is all gimped up right now. You can see his crutches in the background over there.
I told you I wanted to put those off screen. No one saw.
No. Because that's an amazing story is what you had. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Rick is kind of a local legend around the Southeast area. Almost everybody that has raced from the 80s to, 10 years ago would definitely know his name if you've raced in Georgia. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet and fun to talk to. And big reason why I wanted to get him on the show is because as soon as you get him talking, you cannot shut him up. Which is, Jaron's laughing because this whole week, Rick's like, I don't know if I've got a lot to talk about. And I'm like, even Chase texts me and he's like, hey man, you're just going to, this is like a 5-hour show, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. So just strap in, people. We got a good show for you.
Where'd my Red Bull go? Yeah, there you go.
You need some more Red Bull?
No.
Hey, one of my last guests I offered cocaine to. I don't remember what I did with it. So if you need a bump, we'll get you going. But it wasn't cocaine. It was just baking soda. Let's see. So I always start off with my my icebreakers. And for this one, I'm not going to let the people at home see. But my icebreakers make sure that everybody's not nervous or get you a good chuckle off laughing from the beginning. And you pointed out the calendar.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Yeah. Whose bike is that?
Terry's.
No, Terry said that's your bike. Well, I'll do you one better. What about that bike?
It's for sale right now. Do they see this?
No, they're not seeing this. Hold on. Oh, look at that sweet pose. That's a good one right there.
It's going to a club.
What about this one?
If they can't see
I'll
we'll
buy
just
this.
describe that
It's going to a club downtown.
Ass cheek. That's great.
Yeah, is the Stingray going for sale too?
Yeah, no, we're going to have to
rub that paint out.
Yeah, so at the Great Escape race, I was
All right, gotta go.
my buddy Joe and I were there, and we plotted against you because I know that it's still your bike. So we walk over, and we're like, all right, nobody's around. And as soon as I'm about to pull my sweater off, Terry comes out of the woodwork. So then we're BSing with Terry for a little bit, and I realize he's not going anywhere. And I'm like, Terry, just so you know, I came over here to do this. And he's like, oh, have at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, I made sure to make sure that that was kept from you because I was planning to reveal to you on the show. So.
Well, I mean, I got to ask. I know the other day when we were at the house, you had asked me about the mountain bike. So did you get a chance?
So that's the funny thing about the Cruiser and the Stingray, right? Is I called you looking for sandpaper. Had no idea how close you were. So we were all a bunch of friends of mine. We were over riding at Rick's house. Our kids were riding the pit bike track he has there. So I called him and asked for the sandpaper, and he's like, well, I'm about 3 minutes away. And I was like, everybody out of the garage. So I literally kicked everybody out of the garage, did my pictures, and literally like about the time you were pulling in is when I was.
You should have called me, man.
clothed.
I could have done makeup for you.
Like lift up the sack and like
Yeah, just make
powder.
sure everything's fresh and ready to go. Yeah. Oh man,
was that a career that you always kind of wanted to get into?
I tried getting into it, but I realized it's really, really hard in more ways than one.
That's sad because that was
hard in a few different ways. So one of the things, your buddy Larry Friday made a comment on one of the things, and I thought this was a good story to start off with as well. Coming back from an amateur qualifier in North Carolina in 1980. What?
Yeah. Didn't qualify. Things went bad. But on the way out there, my buddy Greg Cecil down in Florida came up with another buddy of ours. And he's got the van and the Chariot trailer and all. So we get up here, and I think at that time also my dad about came home, but we should have left hours ago, and we're riding mini bikes around the yard and all that. And he goes, you should be gone. Okay, we'll put all our stuff away. So anyway, a van back then, he had the sunroof and all that. So we're in the back was like a bed and stuff. So we had like lawn chairs to get us all up there. So I pop out the sun visor and I grab a sheet from the bed, and I hopped out of the sunroof and I was waving at kids, had goggles on, and it was a ball. So anyway, we get up there, have a good time, everything's good until it's not. And we're coming back through, and they were working on I-85 and all that stuff, so we got fireworks and all that. But I think a bottle rocket, my buddy goes, think it's going to go off the roof, and he goes, and dropped it on Greg's feet driving. Boom! And he's like, pulls over, and then he starts to want to wail on our buddy Scott Foote. But all's good. Then we get into Atlanta at 85 and Roman candles through the sunroof, down in traffic, blowing up, and we're going, oh my gosh, I hope we don't go to jail.
This was all happening in Mexico, by the way.
Yeah.
So, not in Atlanta.
We get home.
Yeah, correct.
We said I-85 in Atlanta, but it's Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting home in the area, and we're dropping Larry off, and he says what you never say to your buddies. My parents are sleeping. So, of course, we light the place up with fireworks and all that. But before then, the lawn chairs were broken because we were having so much fun coming home and stuff that it's just, we had a ball. But, yeah, between that and...
So he said something about one of the Roman candles unloaded on a Cadillac with 4 of the biggest brothers you've ever seen that got out. Did that happen in that situation? So when one was shooting out, did somebody get a little upset in the Cadillac?
We needed to get the hell out of the people's way, and yeah, or we're going to be here for a lot longer than we imagined.
So, all right, so this was 1980 on the dot, or was it in the 80s?
80...
Because he put 1980 in the message.
I don't know.
I'm just wondering, how old were you at this age?
32. No. The Atlanta National, for Amateur National, was in Atlanta in 79, I think. So this might have been before, or it could have been 80. Yeah, she's right. It could have been 80 or 81 because Loretta Lynn didn't start till, I don't think, 82.
82 or 83?
2, I think.
Yeah, because I remember talking with Shu about that one time, and he was saying that he went to the first one, and it was 82
we were at
or
the
was
first
83.
one.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
So yeah, how old were you then in 1980?
19.
Oh, yeah, that's totally understandable. I've done way dumber shit at 19 than that.
Well, and I matured at a slower rate.
I think we all do that, ride motorcycles, if we're all being honest.
It's been working for me.
Yeah.
What do we call it? Weaponized incompetence?
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie.
Is that what your wife's dubbed it?
Yeah, every once in a while. She's like, oh,
I don't know how to do that.
Incompetence.
She called me out on it.
No. Yeah, that's kind of one of those things I heard somebody talking about recently on something where they were talking about like you thought you were a certain age until you got to a certain age. So were you 19 up until you were 50 and then you turned to a different age? Because I feel like I'm mentally...
Well, I mean, we've always kind of considered it like younger, like preteen, because I mean, it's one
Even
of those things that, he gets into this certain mindset every once in a while that there's like, bro, where's that coming from, man? You sound like a young boy.
Talking about wanting to jump something or do something?
Well, that or, just in general, in all honesty, Dad, every once in a while, it's like, man, dude, all right, we're there. Let's go. Let's do it.
Forever 30 and an idiot, but my body says, hey.
Well, yeah.
Where you're like, gas it, and you're... gas it, and the other guy's going, no, brakes, and all of a sudden your wrist just isn't working.
Yeah, because I felt like, because I just turned 39, I still mentally feel like I'm around the 25 range.
I mean,
it's about right for me.
It's always a good feeling, and that's what you want to feel. But then again, every once in a while, you get out of bed in the morning, it's like, oh, damn, man, I hurt like hell.
Fuck. I threw my back unloading my kid's dirt bike Friday when we went to the trails. I literally couldn't get, and my wife's in South Dakota hunting pheasants. Well, make sure I said that. Did I say pheasants or peasants? Because I asked her what she was going to hunt, and I thought she said
what town you're in.
And I was like, I didn't want to ask any more questions after she said peasants. I didn't want to be accessory to murder or anything. So I was like, okay, that's what goes on in South Dakota. All right then. No, but yeah, so I get him for the whole weekend. So I throw my back out Friday night. Saturday morning, wake up, supposed to go to your guys' house to ride, and I'm not able to move. He comes into the room barreling through the door, of course, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, let's go. Rigor mortis set in, and I'm like, heat and ice packs. That's why I have those ice packs ready for you.
Yeah.
For up until noon, I couldn't get out of the freaking bed. And so that's when you realize, mentally you might be 25, but you're fucking 39. Yeah, you are 39.
There's a picture or a post floating around Facebook or one of the social medias or whatnot that's your body or your mind sitting there going, yeah, no, I can do that. And your body's like, yeah, try it, fatty. That's not happening.
So we were going to talk about Jaron's knee. So here's what Jaron's knee looks like right now. Do you want to get into the story, sir, of how many staples is that, by the way?
That's a zipper, so when he hurts it again, they can just go right in and fix it.
Zip it back up. Nice.
That makes sense.
But he just today got the staples taken out. He was telling me. But what happened, sir? What caused this injury?
I was trying to go for my A license for skydiving, and the first parachute that deploys when you get to your certain altitude, came out and everything was fine, and I apparently was twisted up and got way too low of altitude. No, I'm just kidding, man. I fell down some stairs at the house, and I really just don't have a cool story for this one. I was going down some stairs, and it's between two patios for us.
Well, I got to stop you right there before you go into the rest of the details, because I got to tell you how I had one of those head drop moments. So Chase comes up to me at Great Escape, and I'm just like, hey, man, what's up? And he goes, hey, did you hear about Jaron breaking his knees going down the stairs? And I literally I'm on the line or like in staging, and I just did the like this. Like one of the, I was like, how? And Chase is just like, yeah. That's Jaron.
Yeah.
And so I'm picturing you walking down the stairs carrying a laundry basket or up the stairs or something like that. Just on your phone walking up the stairs and shit goes south. But that's not... When you told me actually what happened, I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better about how you got jacked up.
Yeah,
So
no.
go ahead, tell the story.
It wasn't on an actual like staircase. We have 2 patios that are outside, obviously, and there is like 12 by 12 inch pavers that are stairs coming down to the lower patio, and stairs coming down through there, and one of the pavers slid, and after it slid, my foot kept going with it. The most that I remember from it is I know I did a split, and when I say I did a split, my legs went wider than my shoulder because I'm as flexible as a 2x4. So I did a split, something popped, and by the time I got to the bottom, I'm sitting there going, OMG, I hurt so damn bad. Get up, fall on a bush. And I noticed when I got up that when I tried to put weight on the leg, the knee was like caving towards the other leg, so towards the inside of my leg. And told the wife, I go, I think I've torn the LCL, which is the muscle or the tendon on the outside of the knee. And it wasn't an LCL. We ended up going to the ER that night at about 2 a.m. and get x-rays, and just thinking they're got to do x-rays just to be sure of everything. They come back and say you have a tibial plateau fracture, and I go, wonderful. So got surgery on that the day before Halloween, and everything seems to be going good. Like you said, they took staples out today, and in a few weeks or so, hopefully be able to start putting a little bit of weight on it.
So when are you going to be riding again?
Man, as much as my heart wants to get back on a dirt bike, it's at this point of falling downstairs to where it's like, dude, if I got on a dirt bike and something happened, it would not be good in any way, shape, or form. So
Yeah, and what sucks with it is anybody that missed it, Jaron came in and did an episode with me. I think it was episode 3, so a few months back, because we're on episode 10 now. And he even said, he's like, yep, I've been like exercising and training and smoking less and not drinking, and by spring, wasn't that the date? Was spring?
hell, it was before spring. It was
it the Great Escape? Or
February. I was thinking about riding the Great Escape, but talking with Dad and stuff back and forth, I told him, he's gung-ho. He's like, hey, man, yeah, I got you. We'll get whatever bike you want to ride ready to go. And it's like, man, I don't know. I'm not sure yet, just because I don't have the muscle on my bone that I need to protect myself yet. So I think I passed up on the Great Escape just for that. And then this happened.
I mean, shit. When did it happen? Because it obviously was before the Great Escape.
I think the Great Escape, it was
The week and a half before.
I don't even think it was that far. I thought it was that Friday before it, right?
Oh, yeah. So
no. It was the week and a half before. You're right, Dad.
Of course.
he never gets to hear that from his wife, so I guarantee you he really appreciates that. Yeah, that was nice.
On a high from that.
Yeah. But no, and honestly, it's one of those things too where I felt like you could have done the Great Escape race and been smart enough to go, especially at that type of race. There's not a lot of jumps, not a lot of big things, and go, I'm literally going to let the gate drop, and I'm just going to go a trail ride. Go into trail ride mode. Yep. Or do like I did and just cut the track a bunch and then beat Grant Hoffman.
I did see you make your winning side of the bet for Grant Hoffman.
Hell yeah. And what did he do? Chickened out. I put the pink tutu on his ass after the finish line. I did all 3 laps. He didn't say I couldn't cut the track. I told him I'd beat him to the second turn, and I beat him to the checkered flag. And I had to slow down a lot the last lap for him to catch up. I'll just say that. And then, I took it off. And then this was the funniest thing about it, because I don't want to hammer on it too much because it got talked about on the last show. So I get done. I get off my bike, go back down to staging because he's like up in 2. And I see he's on the line without the tutu. And I'm like, what the hell? He's like, I tested it out and it's getting caught under my butt and I'm sliding. And he's actually racing for money. And there's another guy there that he had to beat. Like a guy that's racing pro moto, that has a pro license as well.
Was this the King Kelly race or whatever?
No, I think it was just Open A was the next one. It was another money class.
Okay.
But his grandparents came walking by and were trash talking him for not wearing the pink tutu. And it was hilarious. Like, I'm pretty sure his grandma called him a little bitch. Either a little bitch or a pussy. Those were her words. And I was just like falling over laughing about it.
Oh, that's funny.
But all right, so we're through that. We've got a bunch of cool pictures from the past. Actually, that's a stupid statement. Any picture is from the past.
It's history. You're right.
Yeah. At that moment that it's taken, it's in the past. So, but Rick sent me a bunch of really cool pictures, and we're gonna put them up on the thing so you guys can see them as well. So, tell us about this little thing. Tell us about your humble beginnings, sir.
My cousin thought the world of them, and he and his buddies, he's a little older than me, had go-karts growing up, and they would ride them at the local high school and stuff. So I'd always go watch them ride, and ended up that got rid of go-karts, and they had moved outside of town a little bit, and had mini bikes. So it was mini bikes. So, I want a mini bike. So my birthday is right around Christmas time. So between the two, Mom and Dad said, well, we can spend a little bit more, because put the two together, and we bought the mini bike, and then I had to get some parts to fix it all up and everything. But that's probably around 1970, and out at some land up in Cary, Illinois. And that's the beginning.
Illinois. So I thought you were in because when we've met in 09, 08-ish, I moved up in 07.
I grew up in Florida.
But yeah, that's what I always understood is you grew up in Florida. So you actually did start in Illinois?
From started in 1960 to 70, and then right around that time, 71 or so, we moved to Florida.
Okay.
My grandparents were down there, and then
nobody's surprised that the grandparents were down in Florida, and that's why we went down there.
From like 10 to 18, I think. Last year, high school, we moved up. Dad's job changed, so we moved up to Fayetteville here.
Oh, okay. All right, and there was this. So you found this cool ad. So this was this
that's
bike,
what I found. Yeah, the Trail Horse mini bike. So yeah, that's all that was. On a guy has a mini bike channel. There's everything these days, Facebook and stuff. But
so
yeah,
I thought that was this one that had like actual brakes, or was it like the?
It didn't have the pedal that rubbed against the tire.
Okay, it didn't have that. Okay,
but I mean, it wasn't a big difference because.
So what did you have to fix on that one that you?
Oh, it needed the new recoil cover and maybe a clutch and stuff. My cousin was real good with that.
Do you remember what they paid for it?
No.
I wonder if it's one of those $50 deals.
Yeah. It might not have been much more than that kind of thing. But yeah, all of a sudden a kid, it's like any little kid today gets on. It's not about how fast you go. All of a sudden you're in
hold on a second.
You're in control of throttle.
Beat your ass.
Oh,
you're going to beat our ass? I don't think so. We got a McCall on the phone.
I was about to say that. I'm about to beat your ass, man.
For what?
Just because you're Anthony Bennett, you need your ass beat. That's why.
Look, there's a lot of people
in your studio, and you ain't cool, and that's the why. God damn it.
So we got our. Do you want me to say your full name, sir, or are you gonna go incognito on this? Because you're known to go off the fucking rails with talking some shit. So.
Well, I talk shit, but you know why? Because I'm good at talking shit. Nah, you got the man in the studio tonight, brother.
I'm in the studio every show, sir.
I don't ever ask you a goddamn thing, man. Shut your ass up, man.
I do love it talking.
You got Rick and Ricky Lindell in there, right?
We got Ricky Junior or Senior. Are you a senior or junior?
No. You got Rick and Ricky. God damn, you retarded. God damn, you retarded.
Well, yes, I am a little slow sometimes. It happens.
Yes, you are. You rode the short bus. You chewed freaking crayons. Yes, you did. Nah, dude, I was just calling because, man, I just wanted to say, like, Ricky Lindell, he was like, when I was a kid, I say kid, teenager, call that a kid. That's been a long time ago for me. That's when I was still banging your mom.
Wait, you're not still doing that?
Nah, dude, it got old. She can't handle it no more. She got sciatica and all that shit. She's no fun no more, dude. She's no fun. All jokes aside, nah, dude, like Rick Lindell, dude, I just wanted to, he deserves, I just feel like I owe it to him to call, because when I was a kid, I don't know, 16 to 17 years old, you know, Saturday night, we go to Calhoun race. There's Rick Lindell. He's riding 25 and 30 plus. And you understand, that was before your time, Anthony. It's probably before you were even born, for God's sake.
I was born
That
then.
was pretty. When were you born? 94?
85.
85?
Yeah.
Okay, you were 6 or 7. Okay, given. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And I was also banging your
you were
mom at
eating-
that time.
You were eating freaking boogers and going around eating lollipops around the pits. But anyhow, you know, but there was really no, you know, we were all 2 strokes, bottom line. There was no 4 strokes at the time. That was unheard of at that point. But for him to be 25, Rick might have been, you had to ask him. You can ask him now on the show and we'll watch it, but he might have been 30 plus.
Yeah.
Somewhere thereabouts.
I'd ride
But,
25 and 30, so I'd get track time, and then ride the 125 and the 250 pro class. But I would pull off because I don't think it was cool for someone riding the pro class to take a trophy from somebody. But I loved having the track time.
Right.
I had a
But
ball.
It was just so, it was as a 16, 17-year-old kid on a 125, I'm sitting there looking at, because I mean, we were conditioned to think, man, by the time you're 25, you're done. You're done. You can't ride this no more. But I remember my mom, and understand you got to understand, my dad had died by the time I was 14, so it was just my mom going to races with me.
Yeah.
And to see Rick Lindell riding when I was 17, he's 25. You know, like I say, maybe call it 30 plus.
The old
somewhere
guy.
there. Yeah, the old man class. But I was thinking, man, I'll be able to ride till I'm 30. Man, I got another 13 years at least. You know what I'm saying? And but he was somebody. You know what I'm saying? It was somebody. He was good. He was dominant. He was smooth, and it was somebody to look up to. You know what I'm saying? And it was unheard of at the time. With the advent of the 4 strokes, you didn't have, and Anthony, you got to understand this. 40, 35, 40, 45, all that was unheard of until the 4 strokes came along. That was not even thought about. Until the 4 strokes came about, nobody thought about. There was no guy 40 plus years old going to ride a freaking 2-stroke. It wasn't going to happen, you know. And I think you ought to talk to Rick about that. I think he would have some good input on that. I would rather have his input than mine any day. But
Most everybody would.
have his, but to have his input on that, you like I say, we were all riding 2 strokes because there was no 4 strokes at the time in the mid '90s. But in all honesty, as an offer of admiration to him, he was a good guy to look up to, you know.
Thanks.
And it was nice when I could go to the races, and you know, let's face it, we're considered scooter trash. But my mom could go to the races. She could go to Calhoun. She could, and Rick remembers this. He'll remember this as good as anybody. We'd race Calhoun on a Saturday night. We'd get in our little pickup trucks. The only person that had a decent trailer was probably Brandon Smith.
Yeah.
Smith. You need to get them on your show because they had the gooseneck trailer, Kawasaki, and that would be a good topic. I remember I thought I was factory when I got a freaking landscape trailer. You know, I thought, man, I did this, you know. But we would leave there, and my brother, bless his soul, love him to death, he would drive me from there. We would drive from Calhoun. We would drive all the way to Hillbilly Hills.
Yeah.
Sit there in the pasture till Marty Martin woke up and let us in.
Yep.
We'd race Saturday morning or whatever, or it might be you know, we might even race at Chicone, depending on which one was racing. You know?
Yeah. Or what
And we'd
series
take
was
a
going on
bath.
at the
I mean,
same time.
I was a 17-year-old kid, smelled like a goat, you know. But there was Rick Lindell, though. You know what I'm saying? He was somebody worth looking up to. And then, dude, I just wanted to tell him, thank you. Thank you for showing my mom that there was good guys to look up to. You know
Thanks,
what I'm saying?
man.
There was good people.
Yeah.
And there was Rick in the pits and my mom looking around going, you know, my son's not really hanging out with scooter tracks. These are good people, you know?
Yep.
these are good folks. So here's an older guy. Here he is. And like I said, I don't even know what age Rick was. I know he was 25 or 30 plus, and I was running around with, I don't know if this is a good thing, but Jim Creasy.
Yep.
And obviously Rick knows Jim, but Jim he lived nearby me, and he would kind of, hey, follow me. We'll meet at Shawnee's. We'll eat breakfast. We'll go down to Hillbilly or whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of got in tandem with those guys, but no, it was good to have Rick. That he was just a good guy, good moral fabric cloth, and it was nice to have somebody like that. For somebody like me at the time, young man, kid in high school, that looked up to him, that it was worth looking up to. And then there was my mom, who was struggling to raise two boys by herself, and there was Rick Lindell, that was a good guy.
Yeah, and honestly, it makes me now wonder is, because you're a piece of shit, but in a good way. Would you have been a piece of shit in a bad way? If it wasn't for Rick, would you have been a total piece of shit?
I'm just the seminal piece of shit,
You're one of my favorite people that's a piece of shit, but you're a piece of shit in the ways that I'm a piece of shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's Sean. Rick's wanting to make sure this is Sean McKay, because I never said your name. But yeah.
But no, please give kudos to Rick and on the show.
That's why he's on the show. I mean, hell, it's funny I said that's why he's on the show. I'm giving him the kudos. But it's funny to hear you talk about that, because there's a video we're going to play a little bit later of Rick and I's epic battle, which is one of my favorite races, like one of my top 5 favorite races of my whole life. And it was because he was an old guy still then. This is like 2009. So how old would you have been then?
09.
Not you. Not you, Sean. Nobody gives a shit about how old you are.
I'd have been 36. I would have been 36. So Rick would have been 45 plus.
Okay.
60.
So, and I'm
about 50. Yeah.
I'm right around 23. So still seeing Rick at 45,
on your breath.
but still seeing Rick at 23, 24, 25, being 45, that's super old, right? And I was like, this dude can still go fast, and he was fun to race and practice with at Bremen. I mean, hell, I think as far as Thursday nights at Bremen, you guys probably have the most times of anybody that's ever ridden there.
We talked about this last time. Mikey Henderson and Clayton Henderson.
For sure.
They were
because at one point it was every Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
So every Tuesday and Thursday, you guys were probably there. But yeah.
We were spoiled out there.
Well, you got any other specific things to touch on, sir, or things you wanted to bring up?
No, just honestly, in all honesty, I think the most important thing in my offer here is that, as a kid growing up, racing motocross, here's my mom coming to races, and I'm trying to say, we're good people, and there's people like Rick there, you know what I'm saying? And I know he probably didn't think much about it. He just got there racing, having a good time, and being a good fella, being who he is. You know what I'm saying? But Rick, I just want him to understand that how important it was as a kid that was 17 with a mom trying to raise 2 boys, husband dead. Just trying to come through the times and get us through racing and keep us out of harm's way. That there was this guy, Rick Lindell, who really was. He was a moral guy. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, Sean.
Well, hell, and you know what? Since you called in, I'm going to give you some praise too, because for those that are listening and don't know this, Sean was awesome with the hurricane that just came through, and he actually, and I tried to get off of work and was not able to go with you. I actually tried to call you that night, and you said you'd call me back, and you didn't call me back, asshole. But
no, I didn't have signal, unfortunately. When I got up there, Anthony, honestly, I did not have. Matter of fact, I didn't have signal. So I logged into Starlink with the little people that were there. So don't hold that against me.
No, it's honestly, it's fine. But him and Frank, man, they went up to Asheville where the terrible stuff happened, and you guys did a lot of good stuff. I mean, we'd spend 10 hours talking about it if you were in here. So we won't go down that road too much. But I do want to thank you personally for that. And I know that was an amazing thing that you put together and rallied a bunch of troops from this area to go up there on dual sports, and Frank with his plane. And it was really cool to see you guys doing all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Well, that's just the Moto family doing what we do. You know what I mean? I think, if you really add it all up, we're all good people. At the end of the day, I think we're all wrapped in the same moral fabric cloth. And
mine's a little looser than yours, but yeah.
Yeah, we all see the same objective, but no, I got to talk to Rick at the Great Escape race,
Oh, and we're on for next year too.
Yeah, they just dropped the date.
And my son, it was kind of funny because Rick had saw Finley, which is kind of this is a story in itself. I don't know if you know this, Anthony. But so my dad raced back in the early 70s, and I had his bike, which is a 72 Yamaha 360. And I restored it years ago. And I understand, again, I told you, my dad passed away when I was 14.
Was that the one that you did like the Steve McQueen kind of tribute with?
Well, yes and no. So all that came to be, I was going to ride my dad's bike. I was going to ride my dad's 360. I was going to have my Steve McQueen get up, helmet and everything. The last minute, my son says, Dad, he is, I want to ride Grandpa's bike. I said, okay. Cool. And I have two vintage bikes. I have my dad's bike and I have another one. So I said, that's cool, dude. You can ride Dad's bike. So we got there and I rode my old, it's just another bike I bought out of Texas. It was a 72 RT MX 360. What the hell? Rick knows more about it than I would do because I don't. No, I do. You got to have a PhD in junk to know this shit. But my son, he got my dad's. I did. I spent back in 2018. I had my dad's bike restored. Wasn't a lot to it. It was just really just restoring it, getting it into pristine condition. It was a 1972 RT2 360. Two-stroke 360, big bore bike. And my son had never rode it. And understand, my son has never met my dad. Never will, for that matter. And Finley, Anthony, you know him as well as anybody, but he got out there, and of course, typical Sean McKay fashion, I'm always late. I've never showed up to any damn thing on time. So Finley's like, Dad, get the bike ready. I'm first moto. Like, okay. And Rick can probably testify to this, but there's a damn, kind of a, I don't know, a process you got to go to get these vintage bikes to start. So I'm like, turn the gas off, lean it towards the north, lean it over, hold it wide open, whatever. Get this damn thing to fire up, And so I'm getting it going, and I'm getting it fired up. He goes, Dad, he's yelling at me. I said, what? He goes, you're on the line too. I'm like, son of a bitch, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, shit. So I got my dad's bike going for Finley. Then I went over and got on my bike, and I'm trying to get my helmet. I ain't even dressed. I ain't got boots on, knee braces on, nothing, So I'm like scrambling. We get up to the gate. Hey, they're already on the line. They've done turned the 1 minute card over. We come up to the gate. I ain't got, now understand I'm old school for that race. I still got the old school mouth guard, the Jofa mouth guard. I pull up the gate. I ain't even got it snapped. They turn the thing. The guy looks at me. He's like, throws his hands up. I'm like, don't worry about it. Let him go. I'll catch him. We're good. And Finley takes off. And I'm kind of sitting there. They take off, and I'm snapping my stuff together, put my goggles on, doing my thing. I got the old Bell 500 helmet on. I'm blue sweatshirt. Total Steve McQueen, iconic look, And so Finley takes off. And, I'm coming up behind that, and I'm catching all the people in my class, 500B, whatever the hell it is, man, doing my thing. And that old 360 I got, it's having some ignition problems because they have ignition problems. They're just junk. They're junk. That's all they're junk. I don't know how they rode them, So I'm doing my thing, and then I'm coming around, and I see Finley stalled, and I'm coming around him laughing. I say, lean it over, hold it wide open, kick it, like going by, and a few minutes later, he comes by, that thing's screaming, like a modern YZ250, and he's gone, and I come around the last turn, there he is. He's got it leaning on its side. And I just got it holding it. I pulled up. I said, "What's up?" He goes, "It won't start." I said, "What's up?" He goes, I said, "Kick it." He goes, "It won't kick." I said, "Well, you locked it up." And the poor kid he had literally passed the whole field.
Oh, man.
I mean, he had passed everybody, blown everybody. He rode it like a modern, like he's
Yeah,
racing,
you don't do that.
you know?
Hell, I think Porter put it in gear too early and was holding the clutch in,
Porter,
and it fucking ended up creeping forward and hitting the gate on him.
Go. Oh, yeah. It was ugly. And poor Finley, and I remember Stephen Evans, he goes, "Sean," he says, "Man," he goes, "I was looking back, I heard just some kind of two-stroke scream, and I thought, what in the hell is that?" He goes, "I saw that big old Finley on that bike with that thing screaming. I thought, who in the hell is on that 360, you know?" And the funny part is, like, it's my dad's bike. And here's the weird part, like, it's weird, but, like, the front tire on that thing, it is still the front tire my dad bought on that bike in 1982.
Yeah. Hey, I ran the tires on my 500 at Barber, and they were the original ones that came on it.
They
Like,
start flicking knobs
I
off.
brought a change because I figured they were going to be
Rick
chunking
can
out.
elaborate on it, but I
Yeah.
asked a friend of mine that restored it. I'm like, "How in the hell is that tire still intact?" He says, "It's real rubber." He goes, "That's a Dunlop
Yeah, that
tire
makes
from
sense.
Japan made of real rubber. It's not dry rotted."
Yeah, it's freaking
And
Pirelli
literally,
tires. They
that's the
last
tire
like
from
5
February of
rides, and they're chunking out.
1972. Yeah. And Finley was just, I mean, he had that thing screaming, you know what I'm saying? He was, and that thing would roll, you know, but he shut it down, sadly enough.
Yeah.
But, you know, the cool thing was, it was his grandpa's bike, a man he'd ever met. And, you know, he gave it all he had, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And, but, you know, that was a fun part of that whole race, you know what I mean? But in the pits, you know, I got Rick Lindell come up. He goes, "Hey, Sean." I was like, "Oh my God, Rick Lindell." You know, he's like, "Your family's dad." I was like, "Yeah." But me meeting Rick, me kind of getting to talk to Rick outside the helmet, you know, outside the gate was kind of cool, you know, because as a kid, Rick Lindell was kind of all of our heroes, you know, local hero, if you will, you know, and it was just nice to have, but it was nice to have Rick, but Rick may never know it, but I want to tell him that now. And that's what why I called in was that the fact that there was a role he played for us younger kids that, you know, we were trying to get into the racing thing, and we said, you know, "Hey, Mom and Dad, there's good people involved in this." And there was Rick Lindell to kind of show that example, you know.
Yep.
And although, you know, Rick may not think he was just a guy out there cutting laps, having a good time, but in behind the scenes, he was playing a part for us, showing like, hey, there's good folks involved in this sport and good people, you know what I mean? And I just want to thank Rick for that, you know.
Oh yeah.
And for being a I don't know, maybe an ambassador or somebody, a mentor, if you will, you know, in the sport locally, regionally. But, you know, I just want to tell him thank you, you know. What a great
Thanks,
guy,
Sean. It was
you know,
nice meeting you out there. I mean, all the running around, and there's so many people. It was happening out there was awesome. It was our local Woodstock.
It was.
But spend more.
I mean, there was, you know, we were there. We were at, Sharpsburg, Whitesburg. We had Itchicony, Calhoun, Hillbilly Hills, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But we were always running around the same areas, and but it was just nice to have somebody that was older, that seemed collected, kind of had their shit together, if you will, and for our parents to go, "Well, that guy seems like a nice guy. Yeah, he's a nice guy. You know, he's kind of our mentor, Mom and Dad, you know, whatever."
Yeah.
And but you know, there was Rick Lindell, you know, kind of leading that pack, you know. So there's a part to play in that. Although I don't know that Rick knows that, you know, or realizes that, you know. But there was a part to play in from '89 to '94 or whatever. There was a group of teenagers or kids coming up through high school that looked up to him, that were trying to show their parents that, hey man, there's good people that I look up to, and here's one of them, and Rick was one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Well, cool, man.
Rick,
well, Sean,
Rick,
I'm gonna cut you off because you're talking in
Okay.
circles, bro. You said this thing like 100 times.
Well, I want to make sure it's emphasized. You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
And
But
he is.
I
He's-
did
he's
have
a
somebody
great guy,
just call a
you
little
know.
bit ago, and I want to get them on the phone too because they're way cooler than you.
Nobody's cool as me.
Mm, I'll have you make the
Love you,
judge of
brother.
that.
Hey, be cool.
All right.
See
Thanks
you,
for calling in,
Sean.
though, for real.
Thank
See
you.
you, kiddo.
See you,
bet.
bud.
Bye-bye.
He's like him. You let him go, he'll keep talking.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if we
I
can
mean,
get.
the pre-show notes were hilarious when you were sitting there trying to get through it.
Oh my god, it was bad. Let's see if we get this guy on the phone.
Your call has been forwarded to
Oh
voicemail.
no!
The person you're trying to reach is not a.
They left a voicemail. Let's listen to the voicemail. I really wanted to get them on the phone.
Hello, my name's Keith Turpin.
Keith,
I told John McKay to get off the damn phone so I can hear more shit about Rick. We don't give a shit about Sean. He talks to everybody. Sean will talk to the fucking tree. Thank you.
He's calling, Keith.
Yeah, I'm texting him, and I tried calling him back. He didn't freaking answer. I don't know why. Does he have a son named Brad? Keith? Brian?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why. I know it was Keith. I don't know why, but I tried to text him, like, trying to call you back. Oh, well, maybe I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe he'll get to call him back in a little bit, but glad both those guys called in. So we were going through pictures and stuff. So let's get some of those going again.
Oh,
All right, let's show the people what we got here.
David Bailey, Jeff Hicks. That's me.
So that's Bailey
right behind.
Bailey in 45.
Yep.
And Hicks there.
Yep.
What was Keystone?
Keystone Racing. Oh man, was that?
Oh, we got another
George
caller.
Quay?
Man, I feel like we're not even going to get to do a normal show. We're just going to have callers call in. Hey, who we got here?
I just want to know if I can buy that fancy. I
Oh,
just want to know if I can buy that fancy Highline trailer in Bronco.
everything's for sale, Frank, at the right price.
Man, he already knows your
What's
voice.
up,
He got
Ricky?
that
I'm sitting
sexy
here
man
looking-
voice.
I'm scrolling around YouTube looking for something worthy to watch, and I came across these donkeys.
Well, Frank, ask him what he just did to the Bronco.
You hear him,
I
Frank?
have no idea. What did you do to the Bronco?
We had a 351 block laying around, so it's so it'll get us there quicker now.
Oh, don't be
All right, so
modest.
you
Tell him
gonna-
what you
are
did.
We
No.
going to see you this Sunday?
What's going on Sunday? Oh, Fannon's racing, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping to, because I know Terry's going up there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to, but it depends on how things go at work. It's a blessing to be busy, but you know how that goes.
Are you going to do a
Well, you're gonna
flyover,
be
Frank?
working on Sunday.
Are you going to
No,
actually race?
I'm gonna do a flyover on my '74 MX250
Hell yeah.
right over Mike Porter's head.
Frank, I will hit you back.
Yeah, call me back.
Bye. Hey, who do we have on?
Hello.
Hey, you're on with Campfire Moto Stories.
Who am I speaking with?
This is Anthony.
Anthony.
You called into the show. We got Rick Lindell on the show. You were wanting Sean to shut up.
Yeah, I was in to ask if I could get some sponsors.
What do you need sponsors for? What? Look, how many titles you got, sir?
Coors Light and strippers. I see
Whoa.
Rick sitting right there with his damn blue jeans and whatever. I love that guy. Is he still sitting there? I can't see y'all shit no more.
Well,
Campfire Moto Stories.
get your
Are y'all
grandkids
still
to
on?
help you work the YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, because I tuned in. I started hearing Sean. I knew instantly that was Sean McKay. Hell, he'll tell you 45 minutes with this stuff. I love him. I work for him too. But damn.
It was a ball hanging with you out there, Keith.
Yeah, I actually never got a chance to. I was out there at that race too, but I never got to talk with you.
Oh, he was
Keith
Keith was
one
all
of
over the
those
place.
guys too. To me, that's still like, you know, like what'd you win? The 125 East Coast Supercross Championship? What year? 1980?
God knows. Hell no.
What,
1980.
90? Okay, all right. I was 10 years off. Yeah, 1990.
No. 86.
Okay.
86. Oh, right in the middle.
Okay. I got. Hey, are you sitting there with
You're breaking up on me, sir. What?
Are you sitting? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Stop. Y'all talking too much bullshit. First of all, let me say, Rick Lindell sitting right there with his damn legs crossed.
Because my knees won't move.
One of the best people that you will ever meet.
Thanks, man.
Agreed.
Yeah, is this my
Him and his
obituary?
family are great
I
people.
know. Well, Keith, can't tell if we're losing him or not.
Him and his family.
No, we're losing
Yeah,
him.
I was about to say
Damn
he's
it.
in and out.
Yeah, we're losing you, buddy.
Now, I don't know why you're losing me. I'm sitting right here in my damn recliner.
He knows exactly where he's at.
Uh-oh. Keith, don't go into the light.
I'm sorry.
There he is.
Yeah, it comes back every now and then. I don't know if you're trying to listen to us on the show that's going on, like if you got on your TV, but there's like a 30-second delay, so that wouldn't really work.
No, I'm watching it on YouTube on my phone.
Oh, well, that's why. You got to just talk to us. You got to turn off the YouTube. That's why it's messing you up.
Well, I like to look at Rick because
You a good-looking man?
Oh, I got a Keith Turpin story
All
with,
right.
with
Hey,
Leanne.
yeah, how about this? Keith, you're going to listen to this story. Go ahead and tell it.
so you want me to cut the TV off?
You hear him?
Yeah, you just said to cut. Yeah, just don't listen to it on your phone. Just listen to us talking.
All right.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good now
Because
that you
Keith
turned
and
that
I
off.
talked about this at the Great Escape, but
I was just going to say, I saw that today and about Rick, and I just wanted to say, I mean, hell, Rick and I competed but for years. Rick's older than me, but you will never, ever, ever find a better family than the Lindells. His dad, Tom, I can't remember his mom's name, blonde
Gail.
hair, had some down. Sisters.
Becky
Those
and Patty.
people are just great people.
Man, we had fun.
Too bad that motocross doesn't have more Lindells nowadays.
Thanks. Yeah, I was good practice
But-
for Keith. He needed someone to pass.
Well, to be honest with you, I could run over your damn neck or
Oh, yeah.
your leg.
Yeah.
And
That was always,
you
you know.
never, I don't know that I've ever seen you mad. I don't know that you get mad.
I knew my place.
No, hey, nobody knows their place. Shit, don't let people run over your leg or shit like I used
No,
to do.
that never happened.
I'm sure it did.
No, I know. I only did that to Mark Crozier.
So Keith, Rick wanted us to tell a Keith story, so we're going to let the man have the floor. Go ahead, Rick.
Well,
tell us the
Keith's
story.
a big
Okay, go ahead.
He's a big part of that. So Leanne and I, we weren't married yet, but we went to the Limelight downtown.
Mhm.
And everyone, knows how down in Buckhead, the Limelight in Atlanta. So we're moseying through there and stuff, and all of a sudden, here's Turpin with some of his buddies. And he's like, what were you, Keith, 16 or something?
15.
Yeah.
15.
And then he was telling me that his uncle, I don't know if they looked alike
Yeah.
or what, but yeah, he had his uncle's ID. So Leanne's like,
Well, yeah, I did. But listen, so let me tell you that story. Back then, the DDD, what is it called? The DDS or whatever, they didn't give a shit. So my uncle, who's like 5 years older than me, looks like me. So I would take his driver license up or his information, say, hey, I lost his license. So I would go up there and they would take a picture of me, my face, and put it on his damn license.
That's got to be the
Right.
realest fake ID ever.
Oh, no. Shit, I didn't play. I had the real shit. It was my picture on there. It just said I was like 21 or 22. I was 15.
Okay, Keith, was Jason Assad, was he over here from out west, or was this before all that?
No, this was before. No, this was probably when Jason and Art moved from California, because I would hang around with Jason and Jack Prather,
Yep.
Blue Etheridge a lot when I was in town or whatever, because they were crazy as hell. But, you know, it's just like I tell people, I always remember, hell, I'd either get out of school or I'd come home from riding, and I would either see two people sitting on the front porch with my dad. It was either Dick Williamson or Tom Lindell. In the afternoon, about 5:30, Jimmy Newsom
would come by.
Showed up. Jimmy and Diane showed up. I was like, damn, Jimmy, you lay in my dad's bed more than he does. And Jimmy go in there and watch TV. So it was the best of the best growing up.
Good people.
Being around all you guys.
Yeah, I got a Jimmy
And the
Newsom
older you
story,
get,
too.
I think people learn to appreciate that shit.
Yeah, we had so much fun with so many people being out and doing things. It wasn't about, you know, today's so different.
No, I feel like today it's much more fun on the phone. Yeah, just being on your phone and doing things like that. Much more fun.
But yeah, I wasn't giving Sean a hard time because Sean's my buddy as well, and I do work with him. But that joker will talk forever.
I know. I had to shut him down. I kind of felt bad, but then I was like, nah, I don't feel that bad.
Nah, just tell him the end.
I did. I had to. He was talking in circles. I actually told him, I said, hey, somebody more important called. I need to call them back. And he was like, I don't think that's... I was like, you watch the show and you determine if somebody's more important or not. So...
Yeah, he'll give me a hard time about shit like that. Because he acts that way too. And I'm like, nah, dude, I don't act that way. So, but I just wanted to call in. I'm going to watch all of it. I'm going to go back. But I just want to let you know how much... Of course, I probably never even told Rick this, but how much I really think of Rick and his family.
Thanks,
They're
man.
good. They're great people, and I probably never told them that, but that's just the damn way I feel now. I start telling everybody I love them. No, hell, maybe I'm getting old, so, you know, I'm trying to get into heaven or some shit, but they were cool people.
Yeah. Well, you guys are making Rick feel bad. He's like, is this my obituary that I'm living in? Like, is this what is expected at my funeral?
Yeah. It's just, no, I just, when you get older, you start reflecting back. I just remember all the weekends I spent with the Lindells or parked beside them and Tom and Rick. What was your mom's name?
Gail.
Gail.
Yep.
Yes. With the blonde hair, sweetest lady in the damn world.
I've got a picture of your mom in the orange van at Loretta Lynn's.
Yep.
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 Oh, Mom and Dad
All
were
that.
taking so many pictures of everything.
Probably parked beside each other, and Dad and Tom did some stupid shit or something, but they're just great people. So you guys, I just wanted to call in and tell everybody, whoever's listening, Lindell's the real deal.
We did have
The
fun.
Lindell song.
So there's always that one thing that they don't want people to know. You got any of those stories you can share on Rick?
No, I don't have any of that.
I know. I feel like that'd be one of the hardest things to acquire.
He's clean. He's clean. Don't ask people about my shit. But you know what I'm saying? They'll give you like 2 or 3 days worth of talking. No, they're Lindells. They were solid. Good people. It's just like every time I met him, like what, 3 weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a great experience. And I saw him. He come up and talked to me. I probably haven't seen Rick in 12, 14 years.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. And we picked up right where we left off.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever that was. In 2012. Like we saw each other last week.
Well,
And
they're
that's
doing
just
the
way
great
you do.
Keith, they're doing the Great Escape again next year. So, man, it's going to be happening.
I saw that. That's pretty cool. So, but anyways, hey man, love you, family. Y'all have a great time. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. But I just want to call and say Lindell's, that's one of the superior families of motocross.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, no, thanks for calling in, man.
I think the world of you.
Love you, man.
Y'all have a good evening.
You too, bud. See ya.
Bye.
We lost somebody. Where'd Jaron go? I gotta remember to call back Frank at one time. Honestly, I was not expecting Keith Turpin to call in. Like I was kind of saying there, he's still to me like a larger than life character. Because I was standing from me to you at the Great Escape, and I was like, "That's Keith Turpin."
But it's so cool the way that, man, there were so many people. We'd go to the races, and I was never local pro and stuff with all the guys. But here I am, Sean Dukes, Turpin.
I was right there when we took that picture. Billy Lyles was there.
Yeah, Billy Lyles would come off of a national, and then he would hit a big race that we had every year in Alabama, and it was a riot because he'd never bring all of his gear, so you could roost the crap out of him. He'd be black and blue and stuff because he wouldn't have everything. But him, Coleman, Alabama was a race every year, and he would make it from High Point Raceway on Factory Kawasaki and stuff, and he'd fly and get home and then do that race. And it was always so neat to have him around.
That's wild. Dude, I've got people calling in right now, left and right. This has never happened before. Let's see if I can grab this.
It is my
I don't even know who this is. Hey, who we got here?
This is Chase.
Hey, Chase.
Chase who?
This is your grandson.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Oh, that one.
Wow. No, I was just calling in for a little bit to say it's weird hearing all these people say good things about you, man.
Isn't it?
You know, it's
thanks for the
growing
love.
up with you, I guess, different than hanging out with your buddies, because I didn't get to experience any of this.
If you can't screw family, then
who can you screw?
That's right. Grandpa taught you right.
But no, I just wanted to say he's, all of his friends are saying he's their hero, whatever. He's for sure my number one hero. He is my best friend. And it's cool to see everybody else think the same way I do about my best friend.
Chase and he was my riding buddy. He had he was getting old enough. How old were you, Chase, when you were on the KLX 110?
I was like...
Were you 10 yet?
10.
Okay, but we'd go, King would always...
like 10, 11.
Well, the track out there at Bremen, like on a Thursday night, Renee, my daughter, would bring Chase over to the house, and then we'd take off and get there early because we needed to be home not too late.
Yeah.
I'd be leaving track at probably 8 or so. But as soon as the track was done, Kevin would be out there or Kyle and says, yeah, it's ready to go. And we'd be some of the first people.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd get out there and we'd be doing laps and, it'd be a little wet and this and that, but not on a big bike, but on a little 110, he's having a hard time. But I go, Chase, it'll get better. It'll get better. And then I'd forget about him and everyone would be out there on 450s and stuff. And I'd be looking around go, oh, shit. He's still out there getting passed by 450s and stuff. So we needed to split classes up and take the mini bikes off. But yeah, we'd have a ball. So one time we're out there tooling around and okay, going around, I'm going into a corner and Chase knows what's coming up. All of a sudden I get this, like I'm getting run over and here Chase is with the whole front end up underneath the rear fender of my 450. I go, really? Grandpa in your way and you got to run him over?
Yeah, you weren't going fast
Well,
enough.
That's when I knew
it was
Chase is, he'll go through you or instead of around you.
Racing at Bremen or riding at Bremen, I wouldn't say race because we've only done it a couple times, but riding out at Bremen every Thursday and kind of seeing the same people every week, that was fun. That was
we had a ball.
time, and I'm glad you took me with you.
I had to. Someone had to call Lily if things went bad.
Yeah, you didn't. You could have said no.
Well, Chase, you got any other stuff to add? Somebody else was actually calling in that wanted to sing Rick's praises, so I figured we'd just keep this going.
No,
You got
I
any
just,
dirt or things that he
just love
doesn't
him to
want to
death
know?
and
That's
love all
what
you
I want. The
guys.
juicy stuff. You got something that he doesn't want people to know?
Come on, Chase, man. You really pulled a juicy one out on me on my podcast.
Chase zigzag.
Yeah, so we did a zigzag. Well,
hold on. As far as I know, a
chasing me
zigzag
on a
is a
four-wheeler.
blunt.
Okay, no.
So,
I hopped off.
So he was chasing me on a little.
No, we had a little
On a little
PW,
Suzuki
no, a little
50
four-wheeler, a
four-wheeler.
little Suzuki 50.
uh-huh.
And so, Uncle John and Aunt Janie were up, and we're cooking burgers and having a beer in the backyard, and all of a sudden, Chase drives by. He's on a little four-wheeler. He's younger than the KLX days. Chase drives by again. The next thing we know, here comes the four-wheeler, and Chase isn't on it. And here comes Chase running behind it, about lost it. But, so I was on the little
funny stories about you, old man.
Yeah, I was playing around on the four-wheeler, and I'm going to run his butt over. So I'm really going to run him over, but he ended up, I did. And his head hit my head, and I was so scared to death. And he was okay, but I'm bleeding all over. So Jaron went out and got us dinner, pizzas, I don't know what. But Jaron's coming up the driveway with Renee, and he realizes Dad's over off the side of the driveway with his head down, and he goes, "Oh, I recognize that. If I'd be at the track and wadded up somewhere, and Dad's on the side, and I'm bleeding all over, and I go, man, I don't want to go to one of those clinics or
Urgent
nothing
cares or whatever. Yeah.
So we'll get out the super glue, and
Yeah.
but yeah, we took care of it.
So Chase, all right, did you have one?
But yeah, that was. I mean, I do, but it'll make him start talking some more. I know y'all want to get some people talking on the phone. So.
Love you, Chase.
I'll
text
call
it
later if nobody else is calling.
Well, text it or just what it is, and I'll get him going on that. Or
awesome.
The send it in the YouTube chat, and I'll see it. Like
Okay.
ask him about this, and then I'll see it.
I'll love you guys, and y'all be safe, and I'll keep watching. This is funny.
All right,
Safe.
see you, man.
Safe's no fun, Chase.
All right, let's see if I get this guy going. I hope he's got more stories because I already touched on one of these guys' stories. Hey, Jason Assad's in the chat. You were just talking about him. What's up, Jason? I actually met you at the Great Escape race too.
It's Larry.
Hey, Larry, you're on Campfire Moto Stories.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
Larry.
Hey, Rick, what's going on, buddy?
Oh,
I don't know if you saw, but I already had him talk about the bottle rockets on Mexico, not at 285 in Atlanta, is what we determined.
I saw that, and it was definitely 1980 because he had to borrow my bike for the practice day. It took me a week to rebuild it.
Shoot, yeah, we had fun. Except for your dad getting mad at us at the Kawasaki shop. His dad came in and we were riding bikes through the shop.
Hey, man. So, yeah.
That's Larry Friday. He owned Friday's Kawasaki in just outside of Griffin, Georgia.
Oh, really? That's cool. I haven't even heard of that.
Right. Friday Sports Center. Yeah, it was a lot of fun for a short time.
Then
what years was that, Larry?
78.
We opened in like October 78, and then stayed open and basically liquidated in 82 after we started another business that was not as much fun as the motorcycle business, but was a lot more profitable.
Yeah. No, I came from the motorcycle industry as well and got out because the numbers weren't quite as good. It's a lot of fun, but you're wanting to support a family. You might want to.
Oh, Larry sponsored and held a race. You know that they had Atlanta Motor Speedway. Bill West ran that national and all that stuff. I think they got the gate from King Kelly. But Larry held the amateur race that we had there.
Mm-hmm.
Larry held a race there, but then it got into because. Larry, did you know the people that ran the speedway or something?
Yeah, I got to know them pretty well. It was Mike Helton, who was later the president of NASCAR. He was the manager of the track. And, I can't remember the old dude that owned it, but, dang it. But I went in, so we were we were desperate in the winter of '82 because I mean the economy was bad, and just I think one week in February the only guy that stopped at our shop was a Coca-Cola driver who broke down
Oh man.
and came in to use the phone. So yeah, I went down there and saw the Walt Nix, that was his name, that owned Atlanta Motor Speedway. So I went in there and said, "Who's the owner or manager?" And they said, "Mr. Nix." So I go in there and we sit down, we start talking, and because they had the track, it was a nice track, and had a big, awesome Mercedes-Benz water pump, and so I went in there and I'm talking to him, and you know I had no money whatsoever. I mean, we were negative cash flow, so I proposed to him about doing it on a per diem basis, like how many riders I get, this is what I can pay. So he's kind of he's looking at me and stuff. He goes, "You look familiar, young man." Walt was about 65 then. I said, "Yeah, me and my buddy, which was not Rick, it was Dan Balkovitz. We came down this summer and threw our bikes over the fence and rode on the track and came down there and ran us off."
Dr. Dan,
I'm gonna put $100 of grass seed on your bill because that's how much y'all tore up.
I didn't realize, but I know that there was the cable TV stuff then, and they were showing it from a cable channel down in Griffin. But you had a commercial made up, so you and I are out there riding, and it had rained or something, but everywhere there was a dip where the water would collect, it was ice. And I think I broke my thumb or something when we were out there shooting the commercial.
Yeah. I went down to we did the first race, which we called the Winter Am warm up, which Bill West got real ticked about, because we were using the Winter Am name and stuff. But we had it, and it rained and it was nasty, but we still had a decent turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, we broke even, and I got my feet wet, and you and your dad come down there and help us get the track ready, and your mom and sisters handled sign up and scoring and all that. We broke even, and then we did that spring race, and there was about 400 riders, which was big back then.
Yep.
But before that, there was a Miller
Hell, that's big now.
There was a Miller distributorship there in Griffin, and I went down just on a lark. "Hey, you guys want to sponsor a race?" And I said, "Yeah, we got these cute girls in these little outfits." But we had to do the race on Saturday because they couldn't bring their beer truck out on Sunday. So they handed me $5,000 check, and man, I went home that day with about 10 grand in my pocket. That was not bad for 1982.
Heck yeah, neat.
But yeah, those were good days, and it was always a good day hanging out with the Lindells. I know that. I'll follow up on what Keith was talking about. It wasn't just Rick that was a great friend, but his whole family was awesome.
I think my last year of sponsorship with Yamaha was probably because of Mom and Dad, and even after Dad had stopped, where they paid for Mom and Dad to go to Loretta Lynn's.
Oh yeah, you were telling me
take care of things. Yeah,
for the show.
But even
you didn't even race, and Yamaha paid for them to go to Loretta Lynn's. That's pretty cool.
But even besides that, they'd work the front gate at Gatorback for Bill, Jerry West, and Bob. But Jerry would play golf with Dad, so they had a ball.
Yeah. He was a good guy and one of the true pioneers of the sport. Bill West was.
Yeah.
I hated I ticked him off, but he got over it.
Yeah, he had a lot of things going on after that.
He did.
That didn't hold him back any.
But yeah, it was. And we hadn't found this other business. I probably would have tried to stick with the promoting, which was probably a good thing I didn't, because that goes about the way of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's so much work with hardly not much return, and I honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like, I give Matt Walker a lot of credit.
I was just gonna say, talk to Matt.
He's in a lot of ways keeping a lot of Georgia motocross alive.
Yeah. And I always had a lot of respect for King Kelly.
Yeah.
And he was a good when he had a Kawasaki shop just up the road from us up in Riverdale. And even though we were competitors, he was always a good mentor, and his boys have done amazing stuff. So it's a great sport, as long as you have another income.
Yeah.
A fallback plan. But I mean, yeah, some of our best years. I mean, me and Rick, I knew him. Well, I met him about probably early '79. So you guys had probably been here about a year.
Yeah,
And
we came up in
Rick and I
'78.
lived real close together.
Yeah.
And I was a year older, or a couple years older, but you know, we went riding together a lot, and we started going to races together a lot.
I was working at Pizza Hut, and I knew Fridays, Sports Center and stuff. Well, I get a ticket comes across, and I knew that they lived in Fayetteville because that's where we lived. But I didn't know them or never really ran into them. And I go, Fridays, so I did up a killer pizza. And then I think Susan came in to get it. You're the Fridays? Oh. And then, after that, then I think we got hooked up because motocross and stuff. But yeah, that was fun. Fridays. Okay, I'm going to see what I can make happen here. And yeah.
Dad's leaving his phone number on pizza boxes.
Yeah, I race moto too. No, it's so funny because I mean, it even got brought up on one of the shows a while back about how like I met one of my buddies or one of the guys that came on the show because he knew about me because of somebody I randomly met at a sushi restaurant or hibachi restaurant.
Yeah,
and I don't eat sushi, but
you were there for the happy ending.
No, that's Japanese massage parlor. It's totally different.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. And I don't know why they charge me for 30-minute massages. It's going to last no more than 5 minutes. But
they had you liquored up.
Totally different conversation. But no, it's just funny how you'll run into people, and I'm still good friends with them today because of happening to run into somebody at a Japanese hibachi restaurant and wearing dirt bike stuff.
Yeah.
Where you're going, wonder if that's a quad guy. And then you find out it's not a quad guy. And then you're buddies, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's cool to think back, too, how many friends I have today that maybe not necessarily from motocross, but, you know, when we grew up in the early 70s, like half my school had dirt bikes.
Everyone knew someone with some kind of dirt bike.
That's wild to hear. I feel like there was 10 people tops at my school that rode dirt bikes.
My high school in Florida, I know there were between 6 and 8 people that raced anywhere from flat track to motocross and all, but yeah.
It's like, it's funny, like you're saying, you know, when we were in school, that number was at least half, but then you're sitting over here going flat track. It's like, no, man. All the guys that were in my school that rode dirt bikes either on a moto track or in the woods. There was no flat track in it.
Yeah.
Well,
flat track was gone by the time we were like in high school.
In the 70s, that was a whole nother world because there was many flat tracks.
I feel bad for you because them flat track dudes are some of the best dudes to ever hang out with. You know, their eyes don't match up.
That's funny as shit.
Man.
And you got to be careful, you know, where you go with them. But if you survive, it's going to be a dang good time.
Well, I feel like if you're going to be hanging with them and it gets in a sketchy situation, as long as they have a left to get out, they're good, right?
Yeah. And also, they're not going to lose a fight because you can't kill them. They might not win, but they're not going to lose.
Wait, if they may not win, but they're not going to lose, wouldn't that be the definition of winning?
Yes, in my book.
We'll take that. Yeah.
Well, Larry, I'm glad you made that comment on the one of the posts, because I actually literally copied it and emailed it to me and put it for my questions. Because I was like, that was a good one.
Larry stood up in my wedding.
Like trying to say he, what's it? Like he objects.
Yeah.
No, I was in the wedding party.
The bachelor party?
The bachelor party. So if you want some dirt on Rick Lindell.
Yeah, let's hear it. His wife's watching. How long you guys been married? It's solid.
38 years.
38.
I'm sad to tell you there's not none because he got the rest of us out of that gentleman's club without getting arrested or beat up.
I don't remember anything about that, Larry.
Hey, I went to the Claremont Lounge on my my bachelor.
You've never been.
No, I've been twice.
If you've never been to the Stone Pony, you ain't never been nowhere.
Is that where old strippers go to die?
No, the Claremont Lounge is the is where strippers go to die. Is Stone Pony like? Because I know you guys are really old. Like you have to like chisel stone to like show your ID to get in. Like, how's that work?
I don't think they actually asked for IDs, to be honest with you.
They asked for
It was
stone
just
tablet
like
IDs.
$5. And the thing is, it also had to do with the crew you went in with. So we went in with Greg Cecil, Kevin Foley, and Bullet Bruce.
Bullet Bruce, yep.
So
and then one of my Illinois buddies. No, Eric Gore was with us too.
Eric Gore from. All right.
Yeah, because he stood up and went. But another one of our buddies, Greg Randa. We didn't know it, but he came down and he made it from Illinois. He came down. He didn't make the bachelor party, but he showed up and waited outside the doors when we were getting married. It was right at the end of that. But man, we had a ball, the reception and all that.
Yeah.
Oh man, we had so much fun at the wedding that we were having to tell people if you wanted to go ahead and go, because Leanne and I wanted to stay. We had so much fun with everybody.
Dude, we had to keep our bar open an extra hour. Like, we paid them to keep. And dude, we had open bar at our wedding. There was 2 55-gallon drums on each side. It had 2 bartenders, overflowing with liquor bottles. And the bartender was like, "I've never seen anything like this." Like, usually it starts tapering off because the alcohol's kicking in. You guys kept coming in waves. We were like, yeah, because we're fucking motocrossers. We go hard.
Oh, that's right. At the wedding, Larry, you remember Leanne's father had a real good buddy that had an Excalibur car. I think it's built on a Corvette chassis, but the exhaust pipes come out. We drove that from the church to the reception, and he would give me hell about I'm still picking bird seed or whatever out of the out of the car, but in a good way. That was and he was really, really neat. The fellow that Gene, I think, that we got to borrow his car.
Yep, I remember that.
But man, did we all the vehicles from the LA Wrecking Crew, Lower Alabama, Rick Chance, Daryl Heisler. I don't know if Derek Barbie was up or not, but either at the wedding and or going racing the next day for Sunday. So they're in the parking lot in reception stuff. There's trucks, trailers, bikes.
I was supposed to go the next day too, but I woke up at 2:00 in the afternoon.
It happens.
Hey, I had somebody miss their flight at my wedding too, and they just stayed an extra 2 days. Which reminds me, because I put a little note in because Jaron wanted me to make sure to ask Rick about how, because I believe you met your wife at the motocross track.
Rome Cycle Ranch. We'd come from Loretta's. We got rained out on Sunday, so Loretta's actually finished up a smidge early because they couldn't run any Saturday moto. So
hold on. You're telling me that Tennessee in August got a ton of rain and they had to cancel or just speed things up? No.
Yeah. So we came home early, stopped and dropped like pit bike and the gas grill and all that stuff out of the trailer at the shop, and then we hightailed it back up and spent the night up at the track in Rome. And they had just started racing maybe a couple months before then, one time in a month. Once a month they would race. So we're there, go to sign up and stuff, and there's a lot of good-looking women up here. This is really cool. And then, so we're racing, but they needed help with, and Denise LeMaster, that owns Kawasaki shop up in Rome, was doing scoring and stuff, but they kind of needed some help, and they knew that my mom was really good at that, so they came over to the motorhome, and she comes over with Leanne, didn't know, and go, "Oh, man." So anyway, learning her story and all that kind of stuff. Then there's mom's helping them with scoring and all that stuff, and mom's kind of in the back because she's tallying up stuff. But as we're going by, right at the scoring tower and everything is a big like anthill kind of thing. So I'd go over to anthill, go down and go, "Yeehaw," all that kind of stuff. And, "Hey, Mom," and just gooning out, having a ball. And then,
didn't you say it was several motos though that you were doing this? Because you weren't just racing one class. He was coming over every single time of every moto,
pretty much.
With
But
some Yahoo or whatever.
I think, at that time, I probably had a 125, 250, and an open bike. But going yeehaw. So Leanne goes, "Who is that idiot that's yelling when he comes over?" And Mom goes, "Oh, that's my son."
Well,
so
so hold on though. You gotta go from Mom's perspective. I've heard the story from both of them, and Mom's thinking Dad is some teenager crossing the finish line, yelling at his mom. She doesn't think he's mid-20s, late 20s, somewhere in there.
Mom goes, "Well, that's my son." And she goes, "Well, how old is he?" And thinking that I was a teenager stuff, and 24. And she's like, "Oh, these motocrossers." But so it was probably about a month or two after that, and I talked to.
He said, "What year is that?"
We were married in '86, so this might be '84.
Okay, you pull that off in 2 years,
man.
You got? No, you get it? No.
What? No, I tried to block all that out.
I was just asking because
Well, you were racing that stuff, Larry.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because in '85 we were at Rome, and I broke the shit out of my foot on those stupid whoops they had.
The telephone pole that are still there today. People ride out there at Shannon. Yeah,
right, I don't know if I can merge two calls, but
they're trying to.
Your wife's calling in.
Oh, Leanne's on the phone. Well, gotta go now.
Hey.
Hey, Anthony.
We in trouble?
No. You need to tell the story correctly, though, and it was 85.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, hon.
Is that all?
Well, and like Jaron said, I asked who that idiot was that keeps yelling every time he comes by here, and she said, "Oh, that's my son. That's Rick." And if my foot wasn't stuck far enough in my mouth, and I asked her, "Well, how old is he?" I thought she was going to tell me he's 14, 15 years old. Oh, he'll be 25 at the end of the year. Oh my gosh! But yeah, that's how we. And I never saw his face. Oh, he always had on a tailwind. I never saw his face till we went out on our first date.
Yeah, you did. Because we raced Resaca.
I only got to see you for a few minutes.
Well, wasn't it the first date that you told me you had gone over to his house at night? And
no, it was dark that morning because we went down to the old Ichikani.
And Dad's scared the ever living snot out of you coming over to his house?
Yeah, I did.
She's watching the show in the background. You gotta turn the volume down.
Hold on. All right, is that better?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And we met then, and Denise LeMaster and her husband from Kawasaki of Rome, they were running that track in Rome, and she had asked me. I had lost my husband, my first husband. I had lost him in a truck wreck a while before all this happened, and she called and asked if I wanted to come out there and help her do sign up and to score, just to get me out of the house and would do something. Went there. Rick said I signed him up. I don't know. I didn't know him. I don't remember him. Denise wanted me to go over to the Lindells. She wanted to ask Miss Lindell to be the head scorer, and I was like, sure, I'll go with you. I was over in their pits. No clue who Rick Lindell was. And then the incident happened when we were in the scoring tower, me asking who's that idiot and everything. Yeah. But Denise, he told his mom he would like to try to call me and talk to me and stuff, but didn't know how because they knew about me losing my first husband. But Gail, his mom, called Denise LeMaster and talked to her. And Denise said, well, I'll call her in and see if she wants to talk to him. And if she does, I'll give you her number. And she called me. I told her, I said, yeah, I'll talk to him, but I'm not ready to go out with anybody. But yeah, if he wants to call, I'll talk to him. And he called for what, Rick, about a month?
Yeah, it was something like that.
And I finally told him, okay, I'll go out with you. We went to Macon.
Yeah, and Renee went with us.
Renee, yeah. Well, I lived in Rome. So I had to drive from Rome. My daughter and I had to drive from Rome to Powder Springs to his house that he was living in then. comes running to the front door to answer the front door, let us in, had a towel wrapped around him.
I thought it was just going to be Leanne.
Wait
No.
on him to get done, and then we get to ride in the famous van.
Shag carpet.
Shag carpet. Going on your first date, you're worried about, okay, it's going to take us, a couple hours to get to Macon. This could go really good or it could go really bad.
Talked all the way
But it
down
went
there.
really good. Talked all the way there. He won every one of his motos that day. Oh, and I had just had a wreck on my motorcycle, and I had cut my leg real
It
bad.
runs in the family.
And,
No
yeah.
wonder why you're so
And I
fucked
had
up,
just
Jaron.
gotten-
Thank you.
It's not your fault.
Seeing
It's
it now.
genetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had just gotten the stitches taken out, and
Drain tube and all. Leanne.
yeah, I had put on my shorts and I came walking out. He goes, "Oh my God, I didn't know it was that bad."
It was awesome.
Oh, but he thought it was cool.
So chicks dig
Anyways,
scars, but dudes also dig scars. That's what I'm picking up.
Exactly.
It's like having matching tattoos, but scars.
Yeah.
it started from there. Oh, and when we got to the house, his house, I had to drive back to Rome. So,
Oh.
The first kiss and everything. He kisses me on my forehead and says, "I'll talk to you later."
I didn't want to mess
the
this up at
icebreaker
all.
you needed at the
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was good.
Didn't want to mess that up at all. So,
Yeah. Yep. So,
see,
but,
so from that point on, she knew I'd be a work in progress.
But he did call me.
You're still
He did
working
call
in
me
progress.
Yeah, you are still working.
It works to my advantage. What did you call that? Weaponized incompetence.
There it is.
Yes.
Yes.
So what I've gathered from all this is the fact that he somewhat met you. He knew you were going to be in the scoring tower.
No.
And
Well, yeah,
hold
but
on.
no,
Just let me go with my theory
no.
here, okay?
I was
so
yelling for my mommy.
Your mom is in the. You know that this woman's in the scoring tower, and you're going by hooting and hollering. You're basically like a peacock, like flapping the
You
wings,
gotta
right?
let me fly.
Yeah. Like, don't hold me back, Captain. You gotta let me fly. Yeah. You were the peacock, just making noise and trying to impress.
Sean
this
McKay
one.
needs to
You
call
knew.
again. This is my obituary. Thank you.
No, you knew who was in that scoring tower. You had an objective, and you executed the plan, and it worked.
You know,
I'll
now
give you
that you're
props on
saying
that.
this, it's like, bro, you have a point right there. I've never
Right?
actually thought of it from this perspective. I think you're on to something.
I'm
No,
yeah.
Nathan, I haven't thought about it that way either.
Come on, Rick.
Thank
Be
you.
honest.
Thank you very much.
Is that what happened? You knew she was in the
I'm a
scoring
thinker,
tower.
man. I put all.
I know this is
Now
100
that
years
he's
ago.
talking, I'm sitting here going, no, it didn't go that way at all. He was actually yelling at his mom.
I just fell into it. See? Thank goodness that Leanne could be decisive and make good decisions.
Yeah.
Or,
I don't know if
So,
I'd
Rick,
say
you
she's
gotta-
made
you
good
gotta tell him about-
decisions.
You got to tell him about Loretta Lynn's.
Oh,
The year that we were
I never won.
famous at Loretta Lynn's.
Never. I was a top 3, top 5 guy. All that was really well. I mean, that was great. There's nothing more cool than being able to leave your bike at when you come off the track at Loretta Lynn's, and then what is there, 3 bikes or maybe 5 they'll leave for the guys that finish for protests and stuff.
Yeah, protests.
And you're walking back, and everybody else has to come by, but you get to leave. That's pretty cool. But so I never won anything. Although when Mom and Dad, we were done racing and sold the motorhome and all, they pulled a bottle of champagne out in case that ever happened.
And I would say you've never won anything. You won a lot locally.
Oh
in the
yeah, but I'm talking about
Southeast.
Loretta's as far as
Yeah.
champ. But we did win the chili cook-off, and they killed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But because of knowing,
I remember that note was from your show. Yeah.
Once again, Mom and Dad, but it was my sisters. Was Patty there too?
Yeah, Patty and Becky and me.
hey, real
And-
quick,
and Leanne.
before you go any further, you got to say it too, but we got to give Patty and Uncle Scott a shout out because it's their anniversary.
Their anniversary.
No,
So
really? How
happy
many years?
anniversary, Patty and Uncle Scott.
Happy anniversary. Yeah.
But so the chili cook-off, and we knew Tim Cotter. I mean, we knew everybody. Mom and Dad knew everybody. Plus, we've got Tishner on our side. Tip Tip and Ina, if anyone in the Winter Ams back then, everyone knew Tip and Ina. Had a Yamaha shop up in North Carolina, but he took care of Damon Bradshaw a lot when Damon's dad couldn't make it to races and stuff. But so the crew is all set up, and what they do is they were they making mom and dad making margaritas, and then the girls were bringing them up to the scoring tower, to the Honda reps, the Yamaha, the Kawasaki reps, because there would be judges and liquoring them up all day long with that.
Well, you also got to tell them though that Mom and Aunt Patty and Aunt Becky, right?
Yeah.
were all in bikinis.
No. Were you while you were given?
Not yet.
Not yet. No, that didn't happen.
I'm sorry.
That was later in the day.
Okay.
No, so it comes down to where all this is about to go down, and then
We got the guy in the drum, then the band to play
Loretta
drum roll
Lynn's
for us.
daughter or somebody, a band that was playing, and then does the drum thing, and boom, and when he did that, all the girls pulled their tops off but their bikini tops are on. But then they're all going through, and Mr. Tishner's like, "Skin wins." Ron Tishner.
Dude, I don't think I've told you this. I've talked and met with that guy. I worked at a shop right down the road from there. That dude is, I don't know if he's still alive, but he is the epitome of somebody who's living on an acid trip, right?
Well, he has his moments,
he's just
but
very animated and out there. He's like the which was it, the Cheech and Chong. Like he's that character to me. For the conversations I've got to had with him, old man Tishner.
Yeah.
He is
a very cool guy.
Yeah, like he
It's
is
like, yeah, cool. But 100% solid guy though. Mr. Tishner's always been. When sorry, hon, I'm getting all sidetracked. When my dad passed away, it was just a small few people, family and stuff, and all of a sudden Mr. Tishner comes through, and I had no idea, and it was great seeing Ron come through because it wasn't far up from Cycle Springs, Yamaha. They're down Tarpon Springs, and we were up in Hudson, Florida. But anywho's, so Tishner, and then Tip is usually right alongside him, and oh man, had a ball. But Mom and Dad won the chili cook-off, so that was with my sisters and my wife. So I never won, but we did go home with a trophy that year. That was awesome. But it was like a whole day worth of...
In which, like, look, if you look at it this way, there's all these classes, and there's all these champions, right? There's
so this one
only
stands high?
one chili cook-off. One chili cook-off. There's one chili cook-off class. You guys took it.
And the next year, Georgia took it again because Bobby Downs, the Downs family, they pulled it home, so that was pretty cool. But what year was that, hon? The chili cook-off?
85.
Okay, so 85,
That was
86,
Oh,
87.
that was right before we got married in September.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to get off so somebody else can get a hold of you.
I think somebody else did call. I can't remember.
Bye, hon.
F 'em.
Okay. Bye.
Love you, Mom.
See ya.
See you in a little bit. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. No, so it's real funny, the Tishner and you talking about the the Cycle Springs shop. So I worked at this shop down the road, and I remember the first encounter I had with him. He was known. He was the landmark of that area because I was in Palm Harbor at that time at 18 in like 05. And he had his sign upside down on purpose. So he's like the big chicken of that area.
Yeah, because I think he had a pawn shop or something also.
Yeah, like next door. So he had the signs upside down. And literally he told me this is where like the whole Cheech Chong animated thing. He's like, man, people would bring me outside and they'd be like, your sign's outside? And he'd be like, oh man, I didn't know they put it upside down. Like just this whole animated character thing. So that's what I remember when I was 18, like meeting him for the first time and I had to go pick up something from his shop. And he brought me out, like we got to BS and he brought me outside and told me the whole story. And I was like, this dude is a nut. Like in the best way.
Yeah.
He sounds like he needs some of them cards. It's like, how did you hear about our business? And at the bottom have the upside down sign outside.
But no, he told me he did it on purpose and he's like the big chicken in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Everybody references, do you know where the big chicken is? It's X amount of miles away.
Were you in Florida, racing stuff about the time that the St. Pete National was still going on?
No.
Okay, because man,
Well, yes, technically I was.
Tishner and all them would have the scaffolding you put up and stuff. Oh, and yeah, it was party central down.
Oh, I bet.
Sunshine.
I remember, what's Colby and Tim Mullins' dad's name?
I don't know, but Tim Mullins I used to race with.
Oh, Tim. So yeah, I'm thinking of
Moto Assassin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember Tim telling me stories about Sunshine because I got to race Sunshine Motocross in high school, but it was like a revamped version of it. It wasn't the actual Sunshine Motocross. But yeah, I remember hearing stories about St. Pete and all that stuff down the way. Man, we've gone off an amazing tangent. Usually I'm ending the show in a few minutes, but that ain't happening. We're going to keep going. So, do we want to do pictures? Do we want to talk some of the other
things?
things?
One of the race y'all had.
Should we do the race?
I think you should.
One of the best races I ever had.
I got to message somebody because somebody might actually want to call in about that.
About that race?
Yes.
What?
Were the race with you and Anthony?
Oh, somebody else was a big part of that.
Were they in the race with
They were
y'all?
in the race with us. Keep talking.
It's funny, man, because I was going through the videos trying to find the race of you and Dad and everything, and man, dude, there's stuff on there. I found a video. Me and my buddy Timmy Meisner was racing.
I know that. I remember that name. Yeah.
But then also, I think Drew Wilson is on the line to the left of me in one of the videos. So it's like, oh, dude, that's so cool, man. You start seeing a whole bunch of people on older bikes because it's like, bro, I'm sitting here looking for the video of you and Dad, and it's like, I know you were on a 2-stroke, but I didn't exactly. I knew it was a Yamaha 2-stroke, but other than that, I didn't really remember. I'm like, oh, geez, man, I don't know what number you're running or anything. And as soon as the video popped up, it was on y'all's race, and it was like, oh, this is it. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, cool. But
all right, well, we'll see if he'll call back. We'll take a little break and let the people watch some of this race. Do you need a little potty break or anything?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is that picture up for anybody?
No, I mean,
okay, it don't matter.
Here, no, it's up. They can see it now. Tell us about that
it was
picture.
In Mini Cycle Guide. EC Burt did a deal, and that's a big. I forget what was happening. That's at St. Pete, but it's Rocky
that's
Folsom.
Sunshine.
Yeah, Rocky Folsom, Bobby Allison, Kenny Campbell, my neighbor that he and his brother raced, Kenny Smith and Dougie Smith. Well, it's Ken Smith and Doug Smith now. Greg Farrell, and there's me in the back. But let's see. You realize the first bike's a Honda, so that's a sleeve down. I think Bobby Allison's on a Suzuki. Kenny Campbell, I'm not sure. I'm thinking Suzuki, but then the other 3 bikes in the back, all of us are sleeve down Elsinores 100s.
Oh yeah,
and but yeah, all of a sudden I was like, I'm in a magazine. But then again, how old was I? 15. When leathers were leather.
No, jeez, dude, I don't know if I would have been able to race in like leathers
because you got to think, and that's how everybody. You could because we didn't know any better.
You didn't know any better.
So
Yeah,
this is what it is, and it's the coolest stuff. But yeah, to know what you know now and to go back and no, that wouldn't work.
No.
But you got to think, man. Back then in the 70s, it wasn't that bikes were crappy and things like that. It was the best that we had for that time. So you expected things to break. Frames would flex so bad that it was not uncommon at all to see, that bolt before the rubber band or the gate would go. Is that your motor mount? And a lot of times it was.
Yeah.
Because of the flex, things would just break. The effort it took to take care of your stuff was just a normal. And like back then in that time frame of changing shocks up or down, or a lot of times the local welder would be handling your suspension. You would read up and say which
or like moving the position of where it's mounted
you would
on
go
the frame.
you move them up so or you would leave them in the back, but then you would
angle them different.
Angle them down, so you would read up on what your spring rate needed to be and stuff. But other than that, you would get aftermarket shocks But it was all just everyone guessing and then buying damper rods. So all of a sudden, but man, by the time the Fox air shocks came out and stuff, and we went from like 4 inches of travel to like 8 and somewhere around there. And it was like, but then you had problems with chain staying on stuff. But yeah, you were always tinkering with your bike and playing with. But then you needed a new bike the next year because it would the bike would be wore out. Yeah, literally. And plastic, the technology for plastic wasn't very good, so you'd break fenders and stuff. And people just don't ever think of that stuff. But you thought, oh, it's plastic, it's good.
Yeah.
But it would be
and
more
it's kind of funny
brittle.
because at one point they got too light with it, and it was like almost too flimsy, right? Like there was that weird transition in the 90s.
Well, we think that maybe Works bikes and companies were trying to have lighter bikes and stuff like that, so they would thin it out a smidge, and then you'd realize, well, if it was muddy or something, it would just be a mess.
Yeah, snap it right off,
They
or
tried.
just flapping like
But
this.
that was the years of them trying everything, and we were living through it.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because you were talking about the Great Escape race. You were seeing stuff that you hadn't seen since the 70s and 80s from the vintage bikes
But
going
then
out
kids
there
from
and
today
running
hop
racing.
on it, and if something, I think Porter's pipe broke, something came apart. But then if you're still wringing it out, back then we would kind of realize, oh, we got to ease up. But then it goes lean, and all of a sudden now you melted it too. So there were all kinds of problems. But then when you look, well, if this was 1970, it'd just be a normal weekend.
Normal day. All right. So just to preface everybody what we're about to show you, what year do we think this is?
What?
The video that I'm going to show of our race.
Well, what year did you?
I
want to say
it's 09 or 2010, around that range. And honestly, this is a top 5 race in my life.
Yeah.
And I will go ahead and tell you, I'm pretty sure I was in the plus 25 class. I was the only person in my class. So my plan was to just fuck off.
What class am I in?
Plus 45.
Okay.
Because we kind of figured out that earlier.
I didn't know they went that high then.
Well, plus 40 then. Either way, you were in the class.
Yeah.
The walker. Yeah, you were in a walker class to me. So somebody else, because they also had 250C in that same gate drop. That's the person who I've been texting. He's going to call in after. He said, after you guys play the video, I'll call in. Because he has a pivotal role in this whole situation. There was a bunch of chaos that happened with this. So I'm going to let you guys see this.
Real quick, before you play the video, one more little thing, man. We're sitting out there, and this is one of the greatest things that Dad was out racing at Bremen, and you're talking about him racing the plus classes. And, they would mix the plus classes like what you're talking about. Well, we're sitting out there, and I don't know, it wasn't a huge Saturday night race out at Bremen, but it was a decent size. And Dad's out there running. He's winning his class and everything. And I'm in the pitch, in the corner before the big tabletop, giving him a thumbs up. Hey, you're doing good. The signs, but minus having the pit board and everything. Well, we're sitting out there, and the guy in seconds, same guy in second, first moto, chasing Dad down, trying to pass him. And the guy sitting over there sees me giving Dad signs in the corner and everything. He's like, hey, man, your buddy out there is kicking ass, man. I go, that's not my buddy, dude. That's my dad. He goes, oh, well, how old's your dad? I go, 50. 50 plus at this point. And he's like, oh, damn, dude, my buddy's out here racing plus 30. He's going to be so pissed off when he finds out that he got beat by a 50-plus-year-old man. I go, well, you got to give my dad props. He's a supported Yamaha rider back in the 80s and stuff. So the guy sitting here is like, still, man, my buddy's getting beat by a 50-plus-year-old.
Age is just a number when you're still in your head at 20s.
Or if you go ride, you take your helmet off. The kids have no idea. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to play this video for a little bit, and then we'll come back in and probably give you some commentary through it. So it's like 5 laps at a Bremen race, maybe 4 minutes or so. So you guys enjoy this.
The first lap, did you notice?
Bremen.
Because I think, is Renee filming it or whatever from the fence
Renee's
line?
Filming on our camera.
But as I'm going up the front straight and got a little bit of light, I go, and then
Oh, and at one point, I actually noticed you walking across the starting line
his moto was
in
before.
red and yellow fox pants. So keep an eye out for some red and yellow fox pants or something like that.
Because he comes walking up and he's got a towel over his shoulder, whatever.
Towels over the
and he's
shoulder,
going up to
no
the-
shirt, but red and yellow pants, whether they're fox or not. I happened to notice that when I watched
Yeah,
it.
because I think I had just finished my moto right before y'all took off the line.
Of course it was Fox. Mr. Rogers took care of us.
Yes, he did.
No, yeah. All right, you guys enjoy this. We'll be right back. All right, we took our little break so you guys can hear us now. So I believe.
Oh, there's Jaron.
Yeah, I did see him walk across a little bit. It's cool. Like Joey Casey.
Yep.
Dude, he.
Oh, man.
It sucks that he killed himself a year and a half ago, but
He made us feel like
struggling.
heroes out there, man.
He did really good at talking. So funny, the jump going to the left is the one that I talked about on Opie's show, where I completely destroyed my leg.
Ah. Is this the end? Oh,
no,
yeah.
but I'm right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
now,
this
yeah,
is
here
the
it
last
comes.
lap because here I come ripping. I did everything I could to get around you in the corner.
there. You hammered it on the outside right there.
So the funny thing with that too is I was completely out of control right here. Like the video didn't show it. I was completely doing this. Like I hit that corner, hit a rut, and just. All right, let's see if I can get that guy to call in because he's going to really explain what happened there. All right, so.
I know you look back and then critique your riding, and it's like, oh,
well,
man. The front end's too high.
Me the video of that, and you were like, oh, my form looks so bad. But you got to think, you grew up in the 70s racing, right? And there was no form. So
well,
you literally were
in
just
the sand, because growing up and learning everything down in Florida, you're always back. But until you started jumping things, but I mean, I've been through that, and I've always had a problem that I'm not a front end guy as much as the rear. Anyway, would it have changed my life? No, but damn.
All right, here we go. He's calling in. Hey, who do we got on here from the New York area?
What's going on, my guy?
Hey, let's see if Rick can guess who's on the phone right now. Say some things.
Oh, this should be an easy one for him.
He's got a twin sister.
It's the only Yankees that came to Bremen. Come on now.
Huh?
The only Yankees that came to Bremen. Come on.
Oh, I'm completely lost.
Oh, God. It's the sport.
Oh, man.
Come on, man. Come on,
I did not, I didn't realize that till the other day that he and his sister are twins.
You didn't know. You didn't know
I don't get out much, man. Oh, Billy, that's right. There was a moto where Billy, there was something between him and I. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to tell you, Billy and I had something going on, and I don't.
So, no. So, literally, you text me, or Jaron sent me the video, and this is one of the funniest things about the whole video, is the fact that there was some other shit that went down. So I literally, after you sent me the video, I'm watching it in Target parking lot while my wife and kid are in Target picking out fucking birthday presents for this weekend. I got like 5 goddamn birthdays I have to go to this weekend. So I'm watching it, and I text Billy. I'm like, hey, I don't know the date, but this, and this happened. Do you remember the people's name? And I got like a laundry list text back of like what happened. I was like, dude, you have to call in and tell your side of the story.
I was beating you until I went down in that moto.
Well, you were beating me because I was fucking around because there was like literally, I'm not being cocky. I'm not talking shit. I literally said to somebody in the line, like, dude, it doesn't matter where I finish. I get first. I'm the only person. So my plan was to just do wheelies and have fun. So up until your incident happened, and then I was in fourth. Billy and this other person were in front. I'll let him tell his story. And then once they wadded up, I was like, Rick's in front of me. I'm going to see if I can catch him. So literally, you were my carrot dangling in front of me where I was like, I got to see if I can get him.
But Billy, did anything happen between you and I in a moto?
God, for some reason, I wondered. I can't remember, but I feel like something did a long time ago.
Would it have been practice or something? But I think for some reason I remembered something about you and I going into the back area, like where Anthony ended up passing me. I remember something about you and I carving down into a corner there or something, but I don't remember.
I've taken a lot of hits today, so I can't remember too.
Yeah, I crashed a lot in the 70s and 80s when helmets weren't so good. There wasn't much to save them.
All right, so Billy, tell the people what happened in that moto, because it's one of the funniest things that I can recall.
Well, and even at that, I was only racing, maybe 3 years at that point, I think, because I had moved down here in 06. And that's when I started racing.
Ah.
So if it was 09, about 3 years in, and, Bremen Saturday nights, Calhoun, back and forth every weekend. That was the thing to do back then, local racing. So we're racing, no big races. So I'd go to Bremen Saturday night, and one of the kids that's always racing all the big races, Alabama, Tennessee, all that stuff. Fast kid, he's there. I believe he went to Loretta's. What was his name? Aaron Cooper.
Yeah, I think that's what you text me.
I believe his name was Aaron Cooper, but he was always, I mean, he should have been fast to me. I think he went to Loretta's the year before, and I just happened to have a good night with beating him. Then I don't know if we got together or I went down and he tried to run the bike over or some shit. And I don't know, it's a Saturday night race. So we get off the track. I'm sitting there. I was talking. My dad was there, my sister, my mom, and Drew Wilson was there too. He could verify this. And I want to say, I think it was Troy and his wife. I believe that's who it was. And we're sitting there. We get off the track, just bullshitting. And I guess
Are you remembering it? This is all coming back to Jaron real time.
Huh?
Like Jaron's face was like, "Oh, I remember this now."
So, like, you remember, you get off the finish line, you pull over, and you sit next to the bleachers right there by the fence.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there bullshitting, and I don't know if he thought he was going to try to take my front wheel out while sitting next to the fence. Well, he ends up hitting Troy's wife in the leg with his tire.
Oh,
yep.
Then it goes. Okay.
Troy just went to town on this thing. Oh, my God. It was like, what's the thing with the board, and it's got the rubber band with the ball on the end?
Bolo?
Like
No.
the paddleboard, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Well, anyway, Troy had him by the bottom of the helmet, was just fist going through the fucking hole where the goggles were. And I mean, just, oh my God. It felt like it was a blink of an eye, but then we ended up going back to the motorhome, and before I know it, I think every Bremen cop was surrounding our motorhome.
Oh, yep. That was the night. Oh my God.
It was the biggest drug bust in Bremen City. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Dude, okay, so here's what I recall from the race. So I was like, I'm just going to fuck off. I'm going to have fun. And so I literally like just pulled a wheelie going down the straightaway. And by the time I set it down, that Aaron dude, you, and Rick is in the lead. And I'm like 2 laps into this. And I see you two like a perfect V land off either the step down or the big table. You land in a perfect V and explode. They exploded in front of me. It literally looked like a fucking grenade went off, and they just went off. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, what am I going to do now? And I saw you were in front, and I was like, I'm gonna see if I can catch Rick.
Oh, thanks, Billy. Man, I had that moto taken care of.
But I was like, oh, this will be fun to try to catch you. And honestly, that was me at my prime. So me trying to catch a plus 45 guy in my prime is kind of a slap in the face because you were hard to catch.
Thanks.
And he was hard to pass. And he was very hard to pass.
I tried to get wide.
That's why I told you, like, I was out of control. Like, it didn't show it on camera. I railed the outside going, I'm going to fucking die. And then we pulled off, and I'm literally high-fiving you, probably high-fiving Jaron. And the next thing I know, there's a fucking war zone happening. No, it was still by the starting line.
Well, it started over there, but at some point it had ended up by the mini bike track up by the top.
I just realized your fucking mic was on mute. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
It's motorhome park. For some odd reason, we had the motorhome and the trailer that Saturday night. I think we were riding the next day too.
Were y'all parked up by the mini bike track? Is that what was going on?
Yeah, because we were at the plug-ins because we had the motorhome plugged in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I remember it ended up there, and that's when all the police officers came in because Troy was ready to absolutely murder
Kill
this
somebody,
kid.
yes.
Yeah. Troy didn't have eyeballs. They were covered in red.
God, yeah, I just remember seeing Troy holding the bottom of the helmet and just fists going in and out. It was ridiculous.
Because that was the time when Timmy Meisner and all them were coming out racing with us and everything too, right, Billy?
I can't recall.
Yeah, I want to say that was that name.
Because I know Drew was out. I don't think Parker and Lane were there. I know Drew came out there to hang out because he had his 4-wheeler out there and was just hanging out with us.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Well, hell, Drew stopped racing a long time ago. He never raced anyway.
Hey, I will just say, Billy, I actually hung out with him at Big Springs like 3 weeks ago, and you weren't there. So
I don't even own a bike anymore.
So Drew is still more of a man than you, is what I just heard.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got a 110, but that ain't gonna do much.
Hey, it's still fun. You got to get it out to the house.
I was about to say, you could bring it out to the house and come ride the pit bike out at the house. You'll have a blast.
Yeah, I mean, riding the pit bike is like, hooking up with a big girl. It's fun as long as your buddies don't find out, right,
I
Billy?
mean, as long as you're not riding a Vespa around the pit bike track, you're good.
Honestly,
A Vespa
Vespas,
can still be fun.
dude, they are fun as shit. Dude, have you ridden any of the Vespa like 230s or like, dude,
No.
you will come out of a turn and wheelie. They're badass. There's legit MotoGP style Vespa racing in Europe.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I've definitely
they're
seen some of the
fucking
clips on
cool
on the
shit.
on YouTube and stuff. And
No.
the guys are in full leathers, which cracks me up
Well,
too.
yeah, you would need it.
Well, the
Fast as
pavement's
shit.
still pavement.
Yeah. No, Billy, this is one of those things that this has been a 15 plus year coming of an event because it was like watching reality TV show as all this shit unfolded.
Oh yeah, it was one of those things. We definitely needed a camera somewhere to be recording all this, because after y'all started talking about it, when I realized what had happened with that moto, it was like, oh hell, dude, no, I remember. Yeah, Troy was really wanting to murder somebody that night.
Now, do you have that on video? Do you have the whole after the race?
No. We just got the
the
race, and that's probably why it's instilled in my brain as like one of my top 5 favorite races ever, because it was just like it was a fun race. It was like, let me see if I can catch Rick. Oh my god, actually catch Rick. Oh, let me see if I can pass him. I'm fucking out of control trying to pass him, and then pull off in a fucking full on WWE event breaks out in front of us after the race.
Oh, what's this? Oh my!
And then the cops come. And if I'm being honest, Billy, this isn't the last time the cops got involved with us hanging out.
Yeah, we'll save that for a rainy day.
So we'll leave that at that. Maybe we'll get you and Parker in it one time. We'll get to tell some post Bremen race
and tales from Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. Yeah. Mexico. I was gonna say WTF events afterwards, hanging out, bonfires, good times.
Anthony getting naked and stealing people's bikes.
I never got naked and stole people's.
Get naked and making love to people's bikes.
Maybe that happened. Are you talking about the time that I took your bike and in my underwear did like 2 laps at Lane's house?
That time, and then what about the pose with who left their helmet there one day?
That was the same day.
Was it the same day?
Yeah, Alex. I can't remember his name.
Miles got you beat.
No,
Mal wasn't it
beat.
Mal and Kyle?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I know the
They had
stories.
boots on. That's it, right?
They were fully naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I need to pull the pictures?
No.
Well, we know you're fully naked, but you weren't actually riding a bike. We got pictures of Mal and Kyle jumping the big tabletop
I
out
don't have pictures. If you have that, you keep that to yourself.
No, you got the Dirt Rider magazine or whatever it
Practice
was.
Track.
Practice track. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey Casey's magazine.
Yeah, you're the one that's got the magazine saved there, old man.
I don't recall.
All right, Bill. I appreciate calling in, bud.
Hey, great talking to you guys.
Hey, tell your dad we said hey.
What's up, Billy? Good talking
We
to you,
got to
man.
get down that way. We got to get over to Rockmart.
Yep.
Yeah, go eat at the rails.
Yes.
Come see us at the rails.
Hell yeah.
All right, see you, bud.
Great seeing you.
Nope, shit. My bad.
What happened?
I thought he was going to be like, okay, bye. So I was like hitting the end button. All right. We have gone off the fucking... Talking about the rails. We've gone off the rails for this show.
Well, that's what Dad does, though.
Yes.
As I've told you before, when you're trying to leave, it's like, bro, you just got to roll the window up while he's still talking. The Lindell goodbye could take a solid hour and a
down the
half.
driveway.
Yeah.
Dude, I've told my wife, like, hey, Rick's calling me. This should be a 5-minute conversation. I'm going to be 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and she's just gone, stay in the truck. All right, let's see if there's a... All right, let's do a quick, rapid picture moment. Rick, let's talk about these pictures. Oh, we already touched on that one. All right, here we go.
Yeah, that's that.
That's that. That's all you're going to say?
Yeah, it's in Minnesota. That's St. Pete. So all the Florida people remember that. Winter Am with Jeff Stanton, and that's me.
So you actually got to battle with Stanton, like before he was Jeff Stanton?
Well, I always got
thing?
good starts, so that's why I would get pictures, because the fast guys were going to get by. But yeah, that was, I think that had something to do with Daytona and stuff also. So we would go from Atlanta, then Atlanta, then Gatorback, then Daytona. And that High Point.
Oh man, this
gear
one
and
cracks
stuff. Yeah,
me up.
look.
Hold on. Look at young Rick Lindell.
I really wish I could have found that picture I was telling you about.
Look at that cheese. Give me that same cheese smile. Come on, give me that smile.
Got nothing.
It's all the same, minus the hair being completely gray.
Helmet hair. Yeah, but check out all the kids in there. Was it Bradshaw, Tishner?
Shit, I lost the. There we go. Oh my God! Look at Bradshaw. Holy shit, that's crazy. That's funny.
Oh, Mark Murphy, Rodney Barr down there from Carolinas, Carl Jordan. Yeah, that was cool getting your name in cycle news like that. And then
All right, I thought this one was pretty cool.
Yeah, Yamaha support.
So this is like a Yamaha ad, right?
Yeah. And all those would be going on for the Winter Am, and then
holy shit, Vince Devane. He was a teammate of mine.
Yep.
I didn't even see that before.
But then the ads would be coming up between that stuff, and then in California they'd have their Golden State or whatever that was during the winter.
Were you here in this picture?
No, that looks like YZ100s or something. Well, and that's Open A. Pat Post was like, he and I went at it tooth and nail.
What's on your shirt? Keystone?
Yeah, George Quay did suspension and all that way back then, and George helped me out with the gear and stuff, and of course suspension work stuff. And then right below there, Kevin Foley's, he won the trailer. You had enough points to win the trailer. Buzz Hogue owned Sunshine Cycle Suzuki down there, which was just up the street from Cycle Springs.
Oh, really?
Tishner's place. But and Monty Hogue, his kid. Great family. But Greg was best man at my wedding. And
oh, no shit.
Kevin was up for the wedding and all that stuff. And man, we had a ball. But all the racing together and stuff. Number 20. Okay.
Oh, this is Loretta's.
Yeah, go to the far inside. The number 3 in there is, number 3 is Timmy Coombs. And then I think 9 is Tim Dome. But 28's me. And
right there?
Yeah. And then I think going further out, not sure.
You're pulling the whole shot, Dad?
It's
right
pretty
there at it. That's number 2. There's Kevin Foley there. Clean. Look at his style.
All right. How do you get a number 1 and 2 at Loretta's?
From the year before. When you have a top 10 number, that would be the year before.
That's pretty cool.
And one of my favorite times was I had a number 3. So that'd be from the year before, but in plus 25 at Loretta Lynn's. Me, 403 was from Pro-Am up at Loretta Lynn's. And then after that, we'd be at that race in Alabama. Coleman Classic or something, Pepsi Classic at Coleman, but that's Billy Lyles.
Billy Lyles?
Yeah, he would come from I think High Point Raceway was the national, and he would get on a plane and come back home and hit this, because I think this is on Monday because of the holiday stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd race the national and then come back, and that particular race, I got great start. So it was 250 open combined, but I got a whole shot, so I'm going off. And it's going well, but I know, Billy Lyles is there, so
Yeah.
Just waiting for it to happen. But for some reason, man, it was the race of my life. The planets must have aligned, because he was on me, and I guess we had enough of a gap on everybody else, because there were other people that I raced with on a normal deal, but we were pulling away from everybody. And then all of a sudden, so he goes by me, which I knew that's going to happen. So I'm just, okay, I'll hang with, it's an honor to come in second behind Billy. So then we're going around and around laps and stuff, and all of a sudden, I go, no way. I smelled antifreeze. And I'm thinking, okay, no, this can't happen. Sure enough, his bike overheated.
This is the story you messaged me about a while ago.
So he, and sure enough, he's on the side of the track. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm winning a moto. And I'm thinking, this is beyond cool. This is awesome. So I won the moto. Brad Wallace, I'm not sure if Tommy Watts was there, David Kelly. Not sure. But that was awesome. So gathering everything up, and then for the second moto, I'm ripping out, and I thinking, because if Billy's going to win, but I'm thinking because I've got a because he didn't get a second, he DNF'd. So I got the opportunity to overall him, and then I'll be in Cycle News, my name. I go, oh man. So we're ripping around the next moto, and I come up to a whoop section with a guy. And I'm going because I think I'm either in second or third and going for a pass, and I throw it away. And then you're going, son of a gun. You go to get up, and you go to shoulder. And I had broken my collarbone. And I go, oh my gosh, I was gutted. I go, that's it. The whole, the best day of my world. And it just came to an end. But actually in Cycle News, I did get Gary Kreider doing the Cycle News East stuff. And because, Billy, of course, he'd just being there, he'd get his name up there and all that was cool. But my name was up on there. So I thought that was one of the best Cycle News things I ever had.
I just gotta say, check out the technique with the finger on the clutch
honestly,
and everything.
I was looking at that and I was like, that's, even for back then body form, that's pretty damn good.
Well,
like head over the bars, like attack position, ready to go.
Yeah. If you were looking at him from the outside of the corner and everything.
A blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while.
No, don't sell yourself short.
Well, it's, like I'm saying, the Gary Bailey method, man, if you're looking at him from the outside of the corner, you'd be seeing the tip of his elbow. You're not seeing an L because his arm's down. Everything's up in good body position and all that. Both of them, they both look good going to that corner. That's awesome.
Oh, and that's
there's another one right there.
Well, Tommy Watts, Daryl Heisler, and David Kelly. So, that's going outside of the first turn area, but going up through. But being loamy like that was awesome. I love the sand, the whoops. Take me back to the Florida days.
Was this right off the start, or was this during the moto sometime?
This is at least a lap in, because the first turn we haven't gotten to the first turn yet. So it's right at, if it's right at the beginning, then it is about the first lap.
You say this. Who's behind you right there?
Tommy Watts.
Oh, okay.
From Tennessee. Daryl Heisler from L.A., Lower Alabama. And David Kelly was out of, I think, Alabama. But David Kelly, heck, I think he worked with James Stewart a bunch, either with practice bikes or something, but he was starting part of the Stewart compound and all that.
Yeah. Some other ones we got here.
Oh, my Radical Rick.
Oh, dude, the Radical Rick thing.
But,
dude, there's been a few people in the chats, honestly, today, making a comment about Radical Rick. And I wonder if I could see Alan Harrison. He made one.
Alan Harrison, his mom and dad, my mom and dad, Tommy Martin's mom and dad, always were together.
But this cracked me up. The fact that, like, dude, think about
that's the trim gear from Florida. I won that stuff to get a free by winning the Winter Am Series in the Arai helmet also.
Yeah,
that's me and Billy, the same
race.
Coleman, Alabama. That's me and Rodney Barr. I think Wildcat Creek there.
There's a few that I want to get to
Tommy
that were really
Watts,
cool.
David
What
Kelly.
number are you here? Right there.
723, yeah.
Okay. It only saw the 23. That's why I didn't think anything about it. All right. So this is one of the cooler pictures that I thought.
I had a Husqvarna.
Dude,
we bought it used.
No, look at the form. Like in today's standard, that would be pretty cool. Yeah. Like people would be bragging about that
I think,
on their Instagram or Facebook nowadays.
I think you saw someone at the the Great Escape race throwing a bike like that sideways like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're saying, they'd be like, "Oh, hey, check out my Instagram story."
And I think the font on the front or the number plates, right, was hilarious. Was
Yeah, yeah.
that like mailbox font, or did you guys actually have? I'm not being a dick here. I know that's
Fucking Kmart, man. Those are numbers that I went for BMX. That
that-
you would get
okay,
at
that's what I was
'cause
wondering,
You
where
would have
those
to
came
stick your
from.
numbers on yourself, so that's what those were actually were.
because you couldn't just like call up Decal
What's
Works
the
at those days,
76?
right?
The jersey my mom made, she sewed it completely.
The American flag on there.
No, that's a decal, and then the bell helmet thing, that's a decal. But the yep, and the helmet, that's I took tape and did that around there with my MXL goggles that I think I shoved a Scott thing and then matched it with the. But the gloves, those were my Rolf Tiblin, which was a GP guy. Yeah, that was cool stuff.
All right, let's get some of the other ones.
Okay,
All right,
82
this one,
YZ.
I wanted to know what the hell is going on with this front number plate.
The radiator's up on the front. It's the 82 YZ.
Okay, but what is this like?
Well, they were big, so I took one and drilled it all out and then put.
Is this a Terry Hunter
This
contraption?
is. Terry copied all of his work off of me.
Notice
No one's
the
gonna
amount of
believe
laughter off of that one joke.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, but
But
what
look at the decals. See, no one had graphics or anything back then, so you'd go, okay, what do I got? And then you'd try to imitate like what the pro riders had and all that to have the right stuff. Oh, Mr. Harrison, you'll love this. Notice the forks? Okay, if bikes came with fork boots, that's not cool. We had to take those off because stock, you had to do something more cool to stock. Plus, I think all the, if not the works bikes and stuff, they had where they were showing the fork tubes. Those are those wipers. Mr. Harrison realized that he had some off of the Harley Davidsons because they sold Harleys also. Those fork wipers for off of a Harley that had the same size fork tube.
No, nice. I've heard about that actually before, using those kind of things. Where the hell's my mouse? There it is.
Brad Wallace, me. There's David Kelly when he was a bit younger, I think. Staying right there in the Yamaha gear.
Here?
Yeah, David Kelly, that's him there. And then Brad Wallace, and then Shannon Ivy, the kid up there on the. Yeah, we were around these guys all the time. Had a ball, and that's a track down in Montgomery, Alabama, I think. Oh, yeah. Brad was riding nationals when I still lived in Florida. We would see him at the Winter Am race and stuff, riding like the Winter Am Pro stuff. But he was at Daytona doing races, the pro stuff. Yeah, so it was cool racing with Brad. Okay, ball ground.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I saw a ball going right here.
And but going behind me now to the left, I think 225. No, to the left, the other left. Oh man, I forget. But right behind me is Bubba Darling, and then going up there's Billy Lyles.
Where?
The 12 right there, the Kawasaki.
That's a 12,
I think, or he's 33. I don't know which numbers and stuff. Let's see, the 134. Is Mike Holbrook. Not sure about some of the other ones, but I know the Georgia people know who everybody is.
It's like a history lesson on Georgia motocross we're dealing with right now.
Well, ball ground was a second on ball ground because anybody that's been there knows.
Dude, look at this old. Sorry to cut you off. Look at this old van back in the day. That's awesome.
Well, he's selling the shirts. Let's see, whole shot. There's this. Oh man, he was in charge of something to do with KTM, the 225 of. And 251, Greg Lassiter, 10, Brad Wallace, 711, Ben Bishop, and Ben's dad was owner of the Yamaha shop in Atlanta with Billy Lyle's dad.
What's cracking me up about this is the fact that you can remember all this. But I guarantee you,
It was a good.
if Leanne asked you to pick up milk on the way home, are you gonna?
No.
No,
Not even in the
today.
slightest.
I was coming home early, and I go, "Well, hon, you want me to grab something? I ain't had any lunch or anything." She goes, "Yeah, Zaxby's." I'm going, "Okay. Well, what do you want? Well, can you text me so that I'll have it?" She goes, "You can't remember a Zen salad and a vanilla shake?" Yeah, but it's not remembering what the order is as much as remembering that I got to stop. But I pulled through. See, it's crutch times like that I pull through. I had to write myself a note.
It's stick it to his forehead so he sees it.
So one thing that I really need to do before I forget about this, because we've gone off the deep end of all of our just things, but it's been amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and play one of my sponsor reads.
Our next segment is brought to you by Hard Knocks Racing. They're a group of dedicated motorcycle enthusiasts since 1998. They're your go-to for Campfire Moto official gear, soon launch an apparel line of their own. They excel in crafting all kinds of custom decals, like this badass sign behind me, from custom signs to bus wraps and office customization. In fact, check out this work Anthony did at one of the well-known Japanese manufacturer's office who will remain nameless. They also crafted awards for prestigious events such as the Perry Mountain 24-hour race, Mill Creek Spring Classic, Deka Hair Scramble Series, and many more for local racetracks in the Southeast. Check out hardknocksracing.com or give Anthony D'Amico a call at 404-717-480.
All right, so we're back. So we got to pay some bills, people. Kind of went off too far in the rails of the fun bits. So we'll knock out some of the segments, and we'll touch back on some of the things that I really want to hit on with Rick that I kind of almost forgot about because we were just having too much fun. So one of the things that we do is talk about a stolen bike. And I tried to get the guy to give me more details on this thing, but this guy is up in the Fairview area, and obviously this is like North or New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. But
man,
yeah, you happen to see this bike. The owner, Andre Lopez. I asked him to DM me and tell me the details of like what happened. Like, I don't know if it was one of those like meetups, if it was just he woke up in the morning and it was gone. But help this dude find his bike. You'll get 500 entries into the YZ250 giveaway. Which honestly, I didn't get to show. I got to show it to you last time you were here, but you didn't even get to see it.
When is the
bike?
When is the deadline for that? When are you going to actually
December 26th. I'm giving the bike away.
Nice.
People that have called in. So Keith Turpin, he gets entries. Sean McKay.
Oh, Leanne?
Leanne gets them. I don't know if I want to give Sean.
No. Mom's right again. She'll murder you if you put a leg over the bike.
Yeah. All right, so there was one of the videos submitted that was from you guys, but...
Well, technically, we get entries for being on the show, right?
I want to see if that dude messaged me back. So the dude that played... No, he hasn't even looked at it yet. So... Obviously, I scroll through Instagram, scroll through Facebook. I look for videos that are kind of wild. And I found this dude. Oh, I don't want to show it yet. I found this dude's video. This is wild what happened with him. So, what's his name? Sam Larson? He's honestly a pretty fast dude. I've looked at a few of his other videos. Pretty good, right?
I want to say I've seen this video online already.
Joey Kinsey just shared it. So watch what happens. And he told me he had a flat tire. He was not expecting this to happen to his bike. So.
Oh
no. All right, here's the start of the video.
Well, he just threw it that way. So,
So I was like, oh man, that's a hell of a scrub. And then I realized not recovering that.
Do we know if dude's okay?
Yep, yeah, no, he's fine. Look at the ragdoll. Like, he did a very good job of tuck and roll from this incident.
Like I said, I think I've seen this, and it was one of
Then
those
he's
things where
knowing
you're just
the-
watching him going,
Oh
damn.
shit! When he was realizing,
But he
got off
Dude,
nice.
he did a very
Yep.
good dismount, like onto the knees and just tuck and roll.
It was like the forehead tucking's the one thing where it's like, is he okay from that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, as long as he's okay, that's awesome. But, doggone, dude, that just sucks to not know that your tire's flat going off to go expect to normally scrub a jump, and then it just be like, oh, this is way out of control.
Ejectocito, cuz. All right. So what's some of the other segments that we gotta knock out here? Sent in stories. I've got one of those. Live callers, be moto stories. So no, we're pretty much caught up with those. So why don't we touch on just a few more of those, and then we're gonna wrap up the show. So no matter what happens, when I mention your name, there's one situation that always comes up. Do you know what it is?
Truck washing.
No. Calhoun.
Oh, broken back?
The broken back Calhoun thing. So I've gotten bits and pieces of the story throughout the years. Tell me about that day.
So they built I don't know if it's a quad. I think it was a triple at that time, but it was like
I've heard quad.
Okay, it's good 90 feet to get to the whatever the last one. Wasn't doing it. Would go up there and race, and here I am racing the local pro class, and I wouldn't clear. I wouldn't clear it, and I'm just like, man, I got to do this. So I went up to practice it, and worked on it, and got it. And a matter of fact, I was throwing semi whips, but throwing, I was really comfortable having a ball.
Well, who was it you had standing on the landing so you could see?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember who.
Was it
But you know how
Moose?
you're coming up to something, but 90 feet, it was for sure. And I'm getting it dialed in, so I go in, drink some Gatorade or something. I come back out, and then I'm going, questioning, well, damn, what gear was I in? And I went beyond it and flat landed and said, okay, we're good. I'm ready for next weekend. And I don't know if it was the exact next weekend, but so got a real good start, ripping through things. Then everything was fine. Matt's shoe, I'm not sure if
You weren't leading
Turpin
the
was there.
race, though, right?
No, not at this time. If I had hole shotted, they passed me. But if I didn't, I was up towards the front. But we're coming from out of a corner to get down, geared up to come to the quad. And I'm looking alongside, and this guy's kind of easing up or something. So I'm thinking, oh, get on the gas. I screwed up because
The guy that you were next to wasn't jumping.
Right.
The quad.
So and I made it a good solid 85 and just came to a stop. And then the bike just bounced over to the other side of it. Well,
hold on.
Jaron, how old were you at this age?
I was
still on
7?
PW.
No, I was on 50s because I was on.
Yeah,
I want to
PW.
say I was on the Cobra because Uncle Tim
Oh,
was
that
the
might
one
have
that
been.
brought me home.
No, you went home with
brought you home.
Lane.
Yeah,
Frank Wilson and
that's
crew.
right. That's right.
Yeah, that's
but now
one of the things that I've got messages about.
Yeah, because I ended up. I thought it was his buddy Tim that I went home with, but no, it was Lane that I went home with. Cause
yeah, 'cause
I remember getting Drew in trouble because he was strangling Parker over the side of one of those child plastic pools, and it's like, I don't think that's normal, even for brotherly love. I don't think you're supposed to do that, Drew.
Yeah, but looking back, that's normal for Drew and Parker, right?
But so I know Leanne and Renee, and all of a sudden they realized right away that,
Well,
this
hold on
is-
real quick before you get going. You're asking my age. I know my sister, she's 8 years older than I was, so she's watching Dad race and watch this whole thing. The one thing I do remember is after Dad crashed, my sister Renee was dragging me. I mean, my feet might have been the only things dangling on the ground, but she was dragging me along the side of the fence after Dad had crashed because she had seen everything happen and knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And she's literally dragging her younger brother, just feet dangling along the side of the fence, getting over to the side of the track Dad was on.
But I wired up. Paramedics were real good about getting right there, but they didn't stop the race, and that was driving. Leanne's out there, and finally
Well,
they stopped. I think
Mom
it
was out there, and Lane was out there.
Yeah, so
Lane was
stop.
going nuts
Because they're
trying
still-
to get
they're-
these
hold on,
jumping.
Hold on. Lane Wilson going nuts?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I
No
mean,
way.
Think about Lane normally going nuts and imagine it times 5 because he was going ballistic.
It wasn't
because
right. You know,
they were still jumping the triple while Dad was sprawled out on the
in the
side
middle
of
of
the track. The paramedic was literally covering Dad with her body until they got the flags out on the race.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a little more intense than just Dad crashing.
But they get all that going, and then so I have no idea that I'm hurt. It felt like someone hit me in the back with a 2x4, but I could feel, every motocrosser, you crash and you're okay. I feel this, okay, and you're evaluating everything, and but they wouldn't let me up. So it's not that I couldn't move or anything; they just wouldn't let me up, which ended up being quite a blessing, realizing what went down. But so they get me on the backboard and they're hauling me over the fence. And I remember Drew and Parker, and there's Lane, and they're talking to me going, well, are you allergic to anything or this or that? Because the ambulance itself was right over there, over the fence and stuff. And I go, well, it seems to be I'm allergic to triples. And Drew and Parker remember that.
So
But,
Renee just said in the chat that she learned a few new words that night.
So
from Lane.
Oh, and my parents
She didn't
were
say from Lane, but I guarantee it's from Lane.
my parents were there. They had moved back and lived in Florida, but they were up for this because after this weekend they were going to class reunion and stuff up in Illinois, where they had, and all of a sudden they're like, we need to stay, and go, no, you can't do anything in the hospital. Anyway, so I get to the hospital, and still I'm thinking, okay, feeling better, what's going on? Well, your back's broke. Well, is it bad? Can I go home now? Or and no, they wouldn't let me nothing, and realized your vertebrae. It was one of the vertebrae was crumbled, like say somebody skydiving and the chute didn't open up all the way,
like
just
a compression impact. Yeah.
So they took some wire, I think, and some plates, titanium, and put the 3 together. And they said, as you're going in for surgery, I'd been there a week, maybe it wasn't a week before they operated because of being a holiday. Memorial Day? No.
You got to think, though, too, well, he's in there before surgery and everything. They have him tied, arms out, crucifix style.
No, that wasn't it. But I was on a bed. Your lungs will start your body's not made to not move.
Yeah.
So they had to put me on a bed that moves a little bit. Because I remember watching the IndyCar stuff going on, because I think Jeff Ward was racing.
Yeah.
That would have been around watching all that, and it was boring. But, for fun, I'd hold my breath. And then, because you're in ICU, they'd go, oh, what's that? It's not funny, Mr. Lindell.
He'd hold his breath to make the monitor go off to get the nurse to come in.
And, but ICU people that's a special breed.
Yeah. I've been handled by them a few times.
You can't sleep well because you're hearing bells and whistles and things go off in the middle of the night. And then you have dreams of, and it was people crying. Well, then you realize the guy next room passed away that night and stuff. And it's just like, okay, but thank you, Lord. The doctors did their deal. They didn't get into any nerve things. 11 months later, I was racing up at Road Atlanta.
Now, he's talking about this crash and everything, and I guess you just forgot at some point, but when he jumped, he realized he was coming up short, so he bailed off the bike.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't get away from it.
He didn't kick the bike out from him. So when
right now
the bike landed,
oh no, we're in trouble.
I landed on Lily again.
Yep, she's calling.
Well, we got to call it a show.
Yeah, looks like show's over. We'll call her back because she probably has some. I'll call her back after you finish your point. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say he didn't actually kick the bike out from underneath him. The bike had landed, and Dad landed back on the bike. So when they were talking about his brake and everything, it's like his back accordioned when he landed back on the bike.
Didn't hurt me none, though. All right, let's see what Mama's got to say about this. She's probably going to be like, it's past your bedtime. Get the fuck home.
Hello?
Hey!
Oh, wrong number.
Hang on, let me turn the volume down. Okay. Anthony, you should know by now that ask me about what happened because Rick don't remember anything.
You know, after the initial impact and everything, there's a lot of narcotics that go on afterwards. I slept through most
well,
of
you
it.
came up short. You tried to throw your bike away. It didn't go far enough away from you. You landed, and the bike landed back on the top of you.
No, the bike
Okay.
landed and Dad landed on top of the bike, squishing his back.
So that's right. Dad landed on top of the bike.
Yep.
And the reason why they wouldn't let him up is because he was screaming, "My legs are on fire! My legs
Yeah,
are
that's
on
right.
fire!"
But that's good.
Wait, were you a not modern day Ricky Bobby screaming?
Put the invisible fire out of my friend.
Yeah.
And they took him to Redmond in Rome
Oh, I'm sorry.
and transferred him from Redmond to
Yeah,
Keystone.
that took me doing, yeah.
And Rick's mom and I drove up there after we got back to the track and got everything settled. Rick's mom and I drove back up there, walked in. We told him, we're here for Rick Lindell. Well, he's in ICU. That we're still getting him settled in, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, ICU? Oh, my God. I didn't expect him to be in ICU, but he was. And they wouldn't let him move. They had him on a bed that slowly rocked back and forth to keep the fluid from building up in his lungs because he could not
That's
sit.
what
He
the
could
thing
not
you were
move.
talking about.
Good times.
And Rick, it was in May. It was Memorial Day.
Okay.
And it was like 4 or 5 days before they operated on you because of that, because they had to get a team of doctors to work on you.
Yep. Kind of like playing Operation, the electric game, and they never hit the sides.
And they got him up, a day or so later, Rick? Got you up to walking. You've been laying flat on your back for over a week.
Oh, right after surgery, get you up and walk
He
and
turned
stuff.
all different shades of green.
I
When he
just
finally
from,
got up to walk, he was walking down the hallway with the walker, and the nurse asked him, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going home."
they did say that if you can get to keep the walker moving and stuff, that we'll be able to get you out of here. Because once they moved me to a regular room, I wasn't in a regular room a couple days.
Yeah,
and did great. And a neighbor had a hospital bed, so I didn't. I was going up the stairs at the house until it felt like my groin ripped, and it was a nerve doing it. But then so I slept downstairs, and then at church, we finally a couple weeks later made it into church, and they go, because they'd heard about it and everything, and go, "You got it." I go, "I would have been here sooner, but I couldn't get up the stairs." They go, "You didn't know we had an elevator? You came up the stairs?" I'm always a day late and dollar short.
We're a special kind of smart.
Good times. Honestly, I remember when I broke my back, like dealing with trying to get out of the hospital was a nightmare. Like they almost don't want to let you leave because they don't want to let you leave too early and then get sued because they let you leave too early.
But we're motocrossers.
Yeah. Like
there was a while there that we did believe that our next car was going to be an ambulance. Looking for a new car?
For
just saving
a
on
moto
money
vehicle?
and everything.
Yeah.
Load the bikes
we
up,
actually
load us
did
up
use
with it.
Leanne. Okay, yeah, we actually did when I broke my legs because that was bad.
Yeah, you're a redneck when you use your son's motocross van as a transport for the crippled.
No, what we realized
I have a
was
picture of that.
they wanted insurance didn't want to play, so thankfully again everything worked out. Thank you, Lord. But it wasn't working out then, and we realized they wanted like $1,000 to $1,500 just to take you non-emergency, so not in an ambulance, but to take you, get you in your wheelchair and stuff. So we were taking Jaron's moto van, and
we had already gutted it at this point and put in a subfloor, so there was some sort of wood and everything to be able to put some bump stops.
We
down
had
on.
ramps, and they'd push me up in there and then tie down me in the van.
Do you know the lawnmower ramps that you can buy the metal tips
Yes.
for? It was those that we screwed
I
together.
had this picture.
Yeah.
Where is it?
You know what the funny part
your
is
phone. It should
after
be on your
On your phone?
I know,
Oh.
but it's not in the file to share easy.
So we
enough.
realized,
It's
you know.
under your messages.
Well, after we got him into the moto van and everything and got him back to the wheel chalk that we had screwed down into the floor for him, we had some tie-down anchors that we had put in the floor. So we had tied down his wheelchair to the floor. So he was fully, tied down into the moto van like a dirt bike would be, facing backwards and with his ramps and everything to get him in and out
Yeah,
of the
because
moto
my
van.
legs were sticking out in front of me because for a while there I had external fixators. And then with all that stuff, I was wanting them to take a picture of me in my wheelchair with the external fixators on the trampoline. That would be an awesome picture. No, they wouldn't play.
No,
But
we
then
weren't
later,
even trying to play. Getting him onto the trampoline with the external fixators was a whole problem within itself.
But I would play tag with Blakely on her bicycle and just said, "Don't hit Grandpa's legs." But we'd be out there wheeling around out in the yard. But Leanne was having a fit because Shane and some of his buddies and stuff, before I'd gotten home, built a ramp at the front door, and it wasn't too much longer that I could go start wheeling out of the front door and just ride the ramp down, end up out in the middle of the front yard. And Leanne, she didn't care for that much. It was like X Games, but instead of hold my Red Bull, it was hold my Ensure. Watch this.
All right, I got the picture. If I can get it to pull up. Oh
You
no,
should have a picture showing his external fixators and the one in his van.
dude, open.
Well, he's trying to show him the picture of Dad sitting in the back of the moto van right now.
All right,
Yeah.
here we go.
There it is.
There it is.
So sad.
Whose plumber crack is that?
Shane.
Yes, Shane, son-in-law.
Oh, you still got the socks.
Oh, yeah, fixators. Yep.
Yeah, there's the fixators. Then scroll down and you can see the tie downs attached to a chair to the floor.
We're still moto. The block of wood there.
That's great.
Needless to say, he didn't roll around. He didn't move. He was safe and secure in that
Honestly,
position.
that's probably way more safe than any ambulance ride.
Oh yeah.
ever.
Oh yeah.
Damn it. Upper white trash. We're moving on up.
Like one step above trailer, right? Like
A nice trailer.
you're in a mobile
Definitely.
home at this point.
Imagine pulling the Bronco and trailer into what hospital were you going to in downtown Atlanta? It was
What do you mean? Oh, the trailer? No.
no. What hospital were you going to?
Grady?
Grady, yeah. Imagine pulling the Bronco and trailer and pulling him out of the trailer
God.
at Grady.
Which reminds me of this picture. Is that what happened from this picture?
Leanne every year does some kind of Christmas thing, and that was all of us as elves.
So
But
you were so broken up at this point. They just
look
left
at
you
what
in
it
the
says
cast.
up there. Yep. Elf down, Rick elfed up again.
So this is the Christmas card you sent out. What
Yep.
year was this?
This is
You remember, hon?
2021?
2020, I broke myself, so
20 or 21.
yeah.
I think it was 20. Yeah, that's basically the only pose we could really get Dad to
do.
accomplish.
So basically, not move.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
don't move.
Here,
Just stay here.
They
Just
pushed me on the floor. My family,
No,
they're
we-
terrible.
Do you think maybe you brought it on yourself?
No,
most definitely.
No, my therapist has said no. It is not my fault.
No, that's because you're paying it. All right. So what's some Leanne, you got other stuff to go on, or you about to end the call too? Because we're gonna wrap the show up.
Did you see the one of him in the bed with his external fixators?
I didn't save it, but
Why?
oh, that's
And
kind of
yeah.
funny. I love your face. I'm just gonna put it on the camera on me right now. Let's see. What am I looking at right here?
Your screen
Oh,
blacked out.
that's not good.
Your screen's black, Anthony.
It's not.
Oh.
Oh, where you're about to smother him with a pillow?
Yes. That's
I
one
like
of
the
them.
fact that not Chase. What's
Garrett?
Garrett? Garrett's
Chase is
broke.
pulling on his
Yeah,
leg.
Garrett has a cast on in
On
this
his
picture.
wrist? Yeah,
Yes.
because he actually
This
broke
is-
that a little earlier in the day than when Dad screwed himself up.
And I've been talking to Matt Shoe's dad, Mr. Shoe.
Yeah,
And I'm
Johnny.
And I'm talking to him, and we're talking and going, yeah, it's still, great, feel old, get out here, but you got to remember, focus. I didn't focus. Garrett had broken his wrist. We knew it. And it's like, well, you guys go ahead and ride.
Yeah,
So
Garrett was nice enough.
This is a Swamp Creek crash.
Tribe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And went out.
You got to give props to Garrett, though, because we're sitting there going, bro, we know you're hurt. Do you want to go to the hospital? Because, we're pretty sure something's wrong.
Yeah.
And he's out here. He's like, nah, man, we just got
Started
out here. I
riding.
don't want to ruin y'all's day and everyone else riding. It's like, bro, at that point, we should have packed up and left. It would have been the best for everybody
I've done
involved.
that to Jaron before.
Yeah.
Really? You had to go for that?
He talked about it on the show.
Yes.
I watched that shit happen.
And then his buddy would take him to the hospital or something. Okay, I'll get everything loaded up, but we're not leaving yet. But yeah, going around the track and going, nah, man, I'm pulling off. And had I pulled off, I missed the pull off spot. Of course, technically, you can just pull off anywhere you want in a motocross track. But I go, nah, I'll finish and come back around, and went over the jump, and instead of blipping it over the little jump and then easing, because I wasn't jumping that table deal.
Yeah.
I blipped it over what I thought was the first one. Well, it was the second one, and it just faced me completely into that. And I don't even think my tires hit. I think it was just foot pegs.
Yeah.
Oh, so
No,
there I am in the
I
dirt.
think the week or 2 weeks before I rode the same track, and when I heard what happened, I immediately went to, I understand what happened, because you thought it was one bit and it wasn't.
See, Leanne, it's not my fault. I should be back.
Oh, it is so your fault.
Sorry, hey,
You weren't there.
Are you?
Oh, it's
Sorry,
breaking up.
Hello.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. She dropped the call.
she's gonna drop me.
No.
Oh man. But yeah, I didn't focus, and I out there ripping around on a racetrack, and
Yep.
and then it all went bad, and man, part of me died that day. If we were riding, we were hitting racetrack once a week, if not for sure, like every 2 weeks we were riding.
A lot more. Yeah.
And I hadn't been racing since maybe my early 50s, but I was still riding with all the people I'd be racing with, and the grandkids and Jaron, and we were having a ball.
Yeah.
Until that.
And honestly, like, I'm not going to go into all the details because it could get me in trouble. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get you the thing that I got you a few weeks back. We're not going to say what it was.
Oh, that walker's been doing great.
Yeah, the walker. Yeah. Because I want, like, I hate to see you walking, because you're walking like this from that crash.
I'm walking fine, Dave.
And
he's
like,
the walking.
I
so-
honestly, that's one of the biggest problems, I think, is you can't stop doing movements. You can't stop the motion. Like, that's a
Yes, you
body in
can.
motion stays in motion. A body in rest stays at rest, right?
Narcotics
It's
have
been
great.
proven. So
No.
that's why I wanted to get you that thing. And
I've been having a
when
ball.
Leanne finds out, or no, well, she knows now because you told her, because I accidentally told him. That was honestly just to get him moving again. Because honestly, I think that that's going to do better. As long as you don't do stupid shit and try to do a wheelie like this guy did when you
No, you on his bike.
you're the one that looped out my fucking e-bike.
Yeah, no, that's great and all, but ask him about 2 nights ago.
I'm not going to do that.
My
Okay.
pedals got me.
It wasn't even the wheelie that got him. It was the fact that he had no forward momentum after he.
I don't the mic, your mic cut out.
Oh, it's all
Nobody-
good.
yeah, nobody
Cheap
can hear anything.
equipment.
Yeah.
Campfire Moto Stories. Buy nice headphones.
Totally didn't.
I can ride with the kids on the mini bike track now. I've got something for B now.
I always do a story of my kid telling a story, and it's of your track this past Saturday.
Is it? That's
yes.
awesome.
Well, it's one thing when one kid comes out and ride, but when you have a few of them, they had a ball.
Dude, my kid had the best time ever.
They got other kids to ride with and all, and they had hills and all that. Yeah.
So just for anybody listening, Yeah, it's got a moto track for mini bike riders and pit bikes. So we need to start doing Saturday night Thunder or Sunday
Ezra
night
Parker, Bowen. Of course, they got a real track at home
Bowen
now.
and them have moved from their
Right,
other house, so
they're in
I don't
Carrollton
know
and
if they
got a
have
real
a
track.
Oh, do they?
new mini bike track yet.
No, he's getting a real track.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's going to have another WTF.
Oh, there
Wilson
you go.
Training Facility.
That's what's up. The last one got taken over.
That's what mine is. Mine's the WTF starter kit.
All right, so we're
when the
going to
kids
play.
get bigger, then they go to a bigger track.
I don't have tech tips and I don't have some other stories, but we're going to play a few of my other sponsor reads, and then we're going to play B's stories, and then we're going to wrap the show up. So
These stories are brought to you by On Road Riders.
Are we off?
Get on the road safely with On Road Riders. They offer Georgia certified training through the Motorcycle Safety Foundation Basic Rider Course on both 2-wheels and 3-wheel motorcycles, enabling you to obtain your motorcycle license hassle-free. Their mission is to instill essential skills for safe motorcycle operation and save lives. You'll learn from certified coaches covering everything from clutch friction zone techniques to obstacle avoidance. They currently have 2 convenient locations, Mountain Motorsports in Conyers and Georgia's Best Fireworks in Villageville. At just 16 years old, with parental consent, you can enroll and
He did a wheelie the other
I was
night.
wheeling and fell the fuck over, slammed my head in the ground.
He crashed from the wheelie, though. He crashed from landing the wheelie and just coming to a stop.
And then
He didn't crash.
I fell over.
all right, I'm going back to the sponsor read now.
on a successful completion, receive a waiver for your Georgia DDS motorcycle license. Visit onroadriders.com to start riding safely today.
Now it's time for some awesome tech tips.
Transform your comfort with Innovative Mechanical LLC, specializing in HVAC service for residential and commercial properties. They provide expert installation, maintenance, and repair. Their certified technicians ensure top-notch service, whether it's air conditioning, heating systems, or indoor air quality solutions. Serving Georgia since 1999, they prioritize customer satisfaction with prompt, reliable service at competitive rates. Routine maintenance to emergency repairs. Trust Innovative Mechanical LLC for all your HVAC needs. Give them a call at 770-726-7407 or visit innovativemechanical.llc.com to schedule service and unparalleled comfort today.
Yeah, that's B. Oh, I hit the end thing on that one. There we go. All right. So we're getting really close to wrapping up the show as soon as Jaron gets out of the pisser. Did you sterilize the tweezers after you used them? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks. Much appreciated.
Put it back in your personal drawer. Oh shit.
All right, you good there?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to wrap the show now. But before we go, dude, all right, I gotta share this. This has been, usually when I do a show, I have a complete full list of stories or bits or things that I want to touch on. And Rick here, oh, damn it, I hit the wrong thing. All right, I have a full, complete list of things that I want to touch on, right? Full. This is what I got to with you. And I didn't touch on half of this. So the fact that you were like, I think I'm going to be boring. I don't know if I can do this. And then the fact that this man gave me all this information when he got here. And I haven't touched on any of it. Just goes to show.
And that's not on top of what I've already sent you from other stuff.
Like, I've got text from Jaron for his other show that was just like, there's these other good stories. Because I'm going to have to get you back on to make sure we touch on these things. I'm going to save these because it's pretty cool. I have never had more than one person, 2 people call in that were planned. Like I was like, hey, this is happening on the show. You get a call in? And they said yes. I had Keith Turpin, Sean, Frank. I didn't get to call Frank. Larry. Somebody, 2 to 3 other people called me too that I didn't get to call back. And I'm sorry.
We had a ball for so many years.
Like, I know, it's just wild. Like, and that is a testament to the person that you are. And I know that
family.
Sean kissed your ass and all that stuff. And so did Keith. I'm not that guy usually, but I meant that at the beginning of the show when I said that you're one of the nicest guys and funnest guys to be around.
Should have met my mom and dad. Well,
Grandpa
they weren't
and Grandma
around,
were
but
really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Grandpa and Grandma were really, really cool.
But yeah. Is there any other stuff that you want to touch on before your next show? Because we're going to get you on next season to make sure we touch on these things. And I'm just going to turn off the phone lines because, people are just going to keep calling in.
There's just so many people. I mentioned Eric Gore and the Illinois crew. My folks went to school with Jimmy Bugler's parents. So we sent him up a mini Elsinore, the 100cc, but a mini bike 100cc. And we shipped that up to him. So he had some really cool stuff up there. But meeting, they would come back down for the Atlanta Supercross and then the Gator back into town. But all that stuff. So meeting so many people. But then there were some years we were here in Georgia, but Florida people, Tom Fleming and his wife Ellen would come up with Bullet Bruce Burke. And we had a ball with them coming up for Georgia series races and stuff. And Bruce, good buddy. He was at the wedding and all that. But plus 25 Winter Am series. I go, man, it's not I'm getting my ass handed to me by Bruce. He went down and we're racing together. He went down, broke his collarbone or something. And I felt good as much as I felt bad because, he had me covered and he knew it. But,
So one of the ultimate stories that I think was pretty cool that you touched on right before the show, Bob Hanna and your sister. Touch on that one real quick, and then we'll wrap
Not
this
a big
thing up.
deal, but took her out for dinner a couple times when he's in Atlanta and stuff. And then, of course, he would know mom and dad, but from the crew in the pits and all that kind of stuff, all that. But, I hear Bob Hanna driving down the driveway. I'm out cutting grass to pick up my sister Patty. But so we're at Loretta Lynn's and coming down the line front. We didn't even know Bob was there. But
Loretta Lynn's what year and what class?
Plus 25. So everyone on the line's like, the era of, hey, it's Bob Hanna, that's cool. And then, the fellow from Ashworth, Mark Ashworth was a buddy of his over in Carolinas. So I realized, we're on the line now, not in staging. And I see him down there by Mark and go, that's cool. Cause I knew, he knew Mark real well and everything. He's moseying up this way and Dad's here. And I had another buddy of mine that was up from us here up at Loretta Lynn's. And Bob stops by and he's, hey, Rick, how's it going? Everything, right across my front wheel. And hey, Bob, how's everything? Blah, blah, blah. Some small talk and stuff. And good luck. So that was really cool. But I look over at my buddy and he's like, I go, yeah, that cool? And he's just like, yeah. I go, yeah, that should be worth a few spots into the first turn, don't you think? But, oh, man, we always had a ball. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't mean enough, but damn, we had fun.
No, honestly, like the ball thing, right? Like every memory I can think of, you two or your family at Bremen or any event or race, Calhoun even, like even if he's not there, like it's just been fun, right?
Oh, well, hell, there was a couple times that you and I were out at Calhoun running races together. And it's like,
been fun.
Yeah. Hell, the last time I think you and I raced together, it was one of those like, Anthony, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to the gate for our freaking moto, dude. What are you doing? Like, oh, shit, I need to put my gear on.
I've done that. How many people have done that where you're like, well, I'm pretty sure which class is mine, but I know he's in my class, so I'm keeping an eye on him, and then you're realizing, oh, shit, he's running around. I'm going to miss my moto. Oh, yeah.
That sounds like Sean when he called in earlier talking about. All right, so I'm going to save this. And we're going to do this again next year.
Thank you.
And we're going to do some more good stories because it's been a good time. So,
for the people calling in, man, Thank you, man. Making an
Dude, you
old
got
guy
Keith
feeling
Turpin
good.
to call in. Like, that's crazy.
Well, I taught him so much.
All right. All right. Anybody that wants to earn some entries into the YZ250 giveaway I'm doing, call and leave a voicemail. We'll play it on the show. I'm out of them. Or send me a cool video, like the one that you saw of the dude with a flat tire eating shit earlier. Or whatever. All right. Wrap this up. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Pete, why don't you tell me the story about the race at Rick's this weekend? When you were racing Cameron at the Rick's pit bike track? Tell me the story. What happened?
I was racing my friend Cameron, and on his track, on Rick's track, and we sent some videos to my mommy, and she saw them.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, those are really good." And then I kept riding. It was a big jump.
Yeah? Did you get any air on that one?
Yeah. One time
Yeah.
I mean, 2 times. I did it when I was 4. I did it when I was 5.
Okay. Which one did you like racing Cameron on more, the KTM or the P-Dub?
P-Dub.
Really? I figured you were going to say the KTM because you were faster.
I mean, KTM and
You just like them both the same? What happened when you tried to pass him that one time?
Crash.
How'd you crash?
He did it.
How'd he do it?
Cause he went too close to me, and I tried to go farther from him, and then I tried to pass him. He went in my way.
And then you hit him, and then you hit the tree?
Yeah. So he had a little camera that has a screen on his helmet so he can see.
So he saw you were passing him?
Yeah.
He's got a camera on his helmet? He doesn't, though.
He told me he does. He has a secret one. Comes out when he's riding.
Nice. Good story, B.
You wanna talk about a leap fix? I have not shuddered in the darkness. With cups and rolling dice, we get no fucks now. Who thinks twice? Yeah. And when this whole takes another one, felt like it was trying to shake us. Held on to what we knew. It could try, but it never break us. It could try, but it never break us. Talk about us growing up, like we can't function on this level. You laugh at who we are. You're the joke that's taken too far. So where's complexion over? We won't let it stop. We just keep getting closer. Getting used to